Started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the site faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing laughs to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep, we're cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jacking crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Flip script is how we play a game. From start to next time, chasing fame. Put the gear behind me, changing scenes. So through the internet, living out the dream. Got my acoustic strum, curing and chill for cracking jokes. Always got the thrill. In the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our streams phone, no better days. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Friday, the 15th of August, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. You know, Chat GPT-5 has just launched, and I'm a sucker for the GPT machine. I use it a lot. I've been using it for everything. I used it today to generate me a script and a shot list for a video I just shot today. First time I've ever done this. I just said to ChatGPT, I've got this video concept. I've done this before and I don't seem to get any views on my YouTube channel for these videos. What could you offer me that would make this a more compelling video? Here's my plan. What could you do? And it said, do this, do this, do this. And so I listened to it. And today I went out and shot the video pretty much word for what the GPT machine said, shot all the shot cues, everything. And now I've got to edit it together. But so ChatGPT is now up to number 5, the 5th installment of the GPT machine. And there's a video here from a channel called Cleo Abram, this channel here. And I want to watch it because it's an interview with Sam Altman. And he's talking about all the things that the GPT machine can do as of GPT-5. So I really want to watch that. I want to learn about it. I also wanted to say just a couple of words about soulbound.tv. I know I've been promoting this site and I've been there only a short amount of time myself, but it looks like, from everything I can tell, soulbound.tv is a rug pull. They launched their token and then they disappeared. And the token pumped and dumped and everybody ran. In the Discord for the last 4 days, no one's been responding, no moderators, no staff. It's just been a ghost town. So it looks pretty sketchy. Now, I am still streaming there. I'm on soulbound.tv right now. There's no one over on that site. It's almost like as soon as this rug happened, everybody just went, what the hell were we doing there in the first place? They just ejected, not the eject. They ejected very quickly. What have I got on my mind? I'll tell you. No, I won't. But yeah, so I just want to say, at this stage, maybe don't bother with soulbound.tv. Now, if you're already over there doing the thing, it can't hurt to continue to do the thing. I am still earning the XP points. I don't know what they're for. I went to the airdrop claim and I punched in my wallet address and it said you're eligible, but then you had to go and do this unstaking procedure, and none of those things worked. So I'd say the site's a bit clunky right now. Hey, Blueskis, how you doing? Over on DLive. Speaking of old school crew here in the chit chat, Blueskis, Sophia, hey, how you doing? Hey, speaking of new schools, I know what you have on your mind. Sophia over on the YouTube machine, all the way in the south there. How you doing? And Dragon over on Twitch. How you doing, Dragon? Can we just pause for a moment and also say happy birthday to Shiloh Rose, wherever she is, wherever she's doing. She's been missing in action for a long while. We haven't seen her for a long, long while, but it is her birthday today. So if you do know her and you have any connection to her, go and drop her a happy birthday and just see if she's happy and if she's having a birthday. I know it's her birthday today. So Shiloh, if you're watching, happy birthday. I can't believe you're 21 again this year. How did that happen? Crazy. So yeah, soulbound.tv, just be wary. Can't hurt to continue, but just don't go over there because I said to go there. Shiloh Rose's birthday, Chat GPT-5. Also, I've got myself some homegrown olives here. These were not meant to be in the refrigerator. I messed that up, but I'm going to let them get back to room temperature, and then we're going to eat some homegrown olives from the state of Tasmania. You guys all know about Tasmania and the connection, right? You know about Sophia in the chat, not her real name. I call her MG, Mystery Girl. I sent you a text about the olives. Yeah, I did see that. I apologize. They weren't supposed to be refrigerated, just kept in a cool storage space. In my mind, a cool storage space, that's called a fridge. Not that cool, right? The congealed film is just and it's less now, like, because it's getting back to room temperature. That congealment on the top, that's just oil. That's fine. They're going to be completely fine. And I love Kalamata olives, and these are going to be, well, hopefully these are going to be rad. We'll taste them. We'll see. We'll talk. We'll chat. We'll have a good time. So ChatGPT, it's been wonderful for me. I've found it to be so helpful in many, many ways. There are some concerns, security concerns. I hope Sam Altman talks about that on this interview. I don't know if he's going to discuss all that stuff, but I really hope he talks in detail about the security concerns. There are people that choose not to use ChatGPT on their phone. They'll use it on my phone, but not on their phone. We all know who that is, MG, MGS, Mystery Girl Sophia. So yeah, there are obviously some security concerns with anything, right? If you use a phone, you basically, you're opening up yourself to anything. I guess we should also talk a little about cryptocurrency because it's pamping right now. Holy moly. I saw Cardano hitting $1, and I believe it went up to $1.04 or something. What's it right now? ADA, where is it? It's all the way at the bottom. That means it's dumped. It's 92 cents. So it's gone from $1.04 down to 92 cents. So that's cool. Oh, well, that was cool. Not cool now. I mean, it's cool if you're buying it low. Bitcoin hit 123,000, I think. Hey Siri, Bitcoin price in USD.
One Bitcoin is $118,976 according to Yahoo Finance.
It's dropped off as well, 118,000. Sophia, I bet you didn't read the terms and conditions before you signed up for ChatGPT. No, I didn't. I did not. You know me. I did not read any conditions. I heard about this magical thing that could help, and I was like, do I need help? Yes, I do. I'll take that help. I'm not. What am I giving over here? All of my security? That's already gone anyway. Take the rest of it. I kind of do like that about you, though, that you're extremely careful with that, and like, I've always looked at it differently, though. Like, I've always kind of thought, like, got nothing to hide. So what could possibly go wrong? Like, if someone finds my whatever they're looking for, there's nothing in there anyway. Like it, and I'm not suggesting you do, but if you have something to hide, generally people will be more concerned about being found. But I mean, when I decided to make a YouTube channel, holy shit, in 10, 15, 20, yeah, in 10 days from now, sorry, that didn't come out right. When I decided to make a YouTube channel 9 years ago and 350 days ago, what I'm trying to stumble at is my 10th anniversary of my YouTube channel comes up on the 28th of August. And when I decided to make this channel 10 years ago, I just said to myself, okay, if I'm going to post stuff, I'm just posting it all. It's all out there. Nothing to hide. Nothing to hide, no reason to hide. Just post it, right? Embarrassing stuff, good stuff, cool stuff, but all the stuff. No filter. All gas, no filter. No, all gas, no brakes kind of thing. How's that worked for me? Yeah, arguably not the greatest. There's been ups, there's been downs. There's been all kinds of avenues this channel's taken me on, all kinds of roads I've gone down. But it's been a fun time. I got a maybe I should use Chat GPT for this as well. I've got a pretty interesting 10-year anniversary video coming. I haven't shot it yet, but I scripted it. Who did that on Kick? Scuburu.
Therein lies the joy.
Yo, Scuburu, thanks for following. Therein lies the joy. Yeah, I've got a video I've kind of scripted out, and I've shot some scratch video and scratch audio for it, but I might run that through the GPT machine and see if it comes up with some better solutions. Do you know what? Can I? Oh, who did that? Ready Bio. Here, ready. Welcome to the stream, Ready Bio. Can I also stop and say, what was I going to say before that follow, or those two follows? There was something else. Oh, yeah. You know, on TikTok, when they have content creators who have a shtick, and their shtick is that they open their video with the same thing every time. And when you play them all, people compile them all into a compilation video of that content creator opening their content by saying this thing. Well, inadvertently, I did that from day one on my channel by saying, hello, the internet. And I've been saying hello, the internet for 10 years and 4,000 videos or something on my channel. I would like to have somehow an AI scrape my entire channel and take those hello, the internet and compile them into one video. Just me saying, hello, the internet, hello, the internet, hello, the internet, for whatever, 4,000 times. That would be funny. Not really funny to publish, but funny to see. And definitely wouldn't be funny to be the person to have to create that video, to go back through all of my archives and dig out all the videos just to get that front bit. That would be dumb, but it'd be funny, right? You know what else would be funny? I'm going to grab myself, how long? We normally do, no, I'll cruise along a little while longer. I'll waffle for a bit. I normally waffle for about half a before we start getting into the video, the first video of many reacting here on the content. But am I missing anything? Have I said hello to everybody? Am I missing anything? What's happening in the internet? What's happening in the streaming world? Have I missed anything? Hit me if I have. Tell me what I've missed. And tell me this, am I going to get a beer or a coffee? I feel like a coffee more than anything. I don't feel like a beer right now. In case I am, it's only a bit corrupt over on DLive. Hi there, Gibbs. Hello, it's only a bit corrupt. How you cracking? Hello all. It's good to see you, man. I do love that your handle comes up yellow on the YouTube machine. Sophia, you're dressed like Sheldon Cooper. I'm dressed like Sheldon Cooper. Who the hell is Sheldon Cooper? Sheldon Cooper. Who the hell's that? Sheldon Cooper, a fictional character from The Big Bang Theory. Scoobaroo over on Kick. What beer do you drink? I drink homebrew, man. So who is this, MG? Sheldon Lee Cooper, a fictional character, one of the protagonists in the 2007 CBS television series Big Bang Theory, spin-off series Young Sheldon. So he dresses like me or I dress like him? Do I now? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Oh, he's got a long sleeve shirt under a short sleeve shirt over a long sleeve shirt. Is that the crack there? It's the two shirts thing. Yeah. I'll often wear a long sleeve shirt over under a small, a normal shirt. Just a thing. I didn't know it was a thing though. I mean, it's been a thing. I didn't know it was a thing. It's been a thing. I mean, it's not really a thing. I don't know. Is that a spin-off from like the 90s? I've been doing it forever. I also saw a photo of me. Duncan has this photo of me using an air tire. The tire thing that you use to fill up your tires at the service station. One of those, the PSI thing. I'm blowing it into my mouth and it's making my mouth massive. I'm wearing a flannel. I'm about 12. I'm probably about 24, 23. I literally have that flannel. I still have that flannel from 23. Actually, hang on. I'm talking the air infiltrator. That's right. I'm talking to MG here. Having clothing for a long time is nothing. In your world, that's nothing. Can I tell that story? You know the story. You know what I'm going to tell, right? Can I tell that? It's not my story to tell though. What's your homebrew? So my homebrew right now is a big fat black stout. It's not a Guinness, but it's on that way. It's meant to be like a Guinnessy, stouty, chocolatey, molassesy, but it's actually more like a 2 years old. That's more like the. It's not quite as thick as I want. I'm glad you finally made it on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I'm glad you finally made it on YouTube. Not. Okay. Thanks for that. I'm happy. I'm happy you're happy that I'm not succeeding. Is that what's going on? You're happy that I'm not that my YouTube channel's failing. Okay. You sound like a real joy to hang around. Scuba bro. I like stout and cheese. Stout and cheese. Nice. Nice. Hashtag boy dinner. Okay. Okay. You're still in a hotel room. No. Not a hotel. Are you is this a... Okay, I'll play along for a little while until I get bored of the fuckery. Go on, troll. Give me the best you got. Remember Chunky Monkey? I do not. Hang on. Are you acknowledging troll activity? Are you saying that's me trolling you and I did it once before? Is that what's going on here? Where's the ban button? It's pretty easy to find, isn't it, over on Kick? It's pretty simple to do as well. There we go. I got this. Let's just do a quick bannage. Bannage. Done. Easy. Done. If someone comes in here saying, I trolled you in the past and I'm here with another channel and I want to troll you again, this is what I say to you. Go fuck yourself. I'm not here for that anymore. Maybe you might have had some fun with me in the past. Not anymore. Scuba. Here comes you as well. Everyone chill. No. How about this? Go fuck yourself. See you later. Easy done. 2 trolls coming in at the same time, 2 trolls out at the same time. Let me go and grab a coffee. We'll come back in and we'll get into this Chat GPT machine. At the moment, though, here comes some surfing from last Thursday. What day is today? Friday? No. Last Sunday. Hey, Flowski, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Flowski. I'll be right back with the coffee. And 1 non-troll at the same time. Yeah, true. All right, I'll be right back. Hey, Flowski, thanks for that, dude. Yeah, I don't know if I fixed it. I just made a small change when I came back and I saw that comment from you. I knew that was happening, or I suspected that double up of audio was happening. It's only when I run a video internal to the OBS. I don't know. I'm half aware of that it might have been happening, and I haven't actually checked it. But thank you for letting me know it was happening. Yeah, you probably won't see this until after the video, but it sounds like it's echoing just the video, not your mic. Yep. I like when you say hello, the internet. Welcome to the channel. It makes me happy when you do it. Thank you, Dragon. Cheers, man. Charles, looks like, hey, Charles is here. Hey, doing, man. Didn't see you coming. Looks like you need some pro grip on the bottom of your feet to keep from slipping on that board. You just need to put more. You just need to put more of that on it. I used this quite a lot, and I just didn't wax up that day. Bad. I mean, sometimes I don't always wax up, but cheers! Exclamation drink. Cheers is. I got a coffee. It's probably too hot. We'll hold off on that for a moment. Exclamation pour. I'll grab that homebrew a little while later, I think. Let's move on to this video from Cleo Abram. Sam Altman shows Chat GPT-5 and what's next. This is going to be interesting because are we all using it? Are we all in agreement that Chat GPT is a wonderful thing? I am. Let's watch it. Let's learn about the updates.
This is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology, and it's happened to us so fast.
You just launched GPT-5.
A kid born today will never be smarter than AI.
How do we figure out what's real and what's not real?
We haven't put a sex bot avatar in ChatGPT yet.
Super.
A what? A sex bot avatar? Flesky, by the way, I have the same issue on Xenon, useless site. I streamed there for a while after the resurrection. They silently did the stupid token required update. Yeah. I checked that out. I also checked out Zoot or Suit, and you can't restream from Beamstream to Suit. So I'm just sitting there idle. I'm there with the channel though.
Intelligence. What does that actually mean?
This thing is remarkable.
I'm about to interview Sam Altman, the CEO.
Whoa, she came in swinging.
I'm about to interview.
Is that that's like a Mr. Beast thing? Hey, like come in super enthusiastic. I'm about to interview Sam Altman. Like, what are you jumping at us like that? You're frightening me.
This thing is remarkable.
Watch her come in.
I'm about to interview Sam Altman.
I mean, that's crazy that we have to do that. That's a YouTube thing. You've got to be super enigmatic. I don't use ChatGPT per se, but I use other AIs for various things. Man, I got to tell you, I found ChatGPT to be pretty lame for certain things and pretty good for other things. I'm all over the place too. I'm using Copilot, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok. What's Gemini? Yeah, I'm using them all as well.
CEO
of OpenAI.
OpenAI is
Reshaping industries.
dude's a straight up tech lord, let's be honest.
Right now, they're trying to build a super intelligence that could far exceed humans in almost every field. And they just released their most powerful model yet. Just a couple years ago, that would have sounded like science fiction.
I've had good luck with Gemini. Copilot sucks, but I like that it's free and unlimited. Look, I've been trying to use it lately for thumbnails. If you go onto my channel and look at like past live streams, you'll notice all the thumbnails are AI generated. And I found all of them to be super lame, like super lame. I'll say, here's the stream title. I want you to use emoticons and I want you to use this text over the top. And here's an image for inspiration. And it'll come back with, sometimes it comes back with the text off the screen. Like it won't even be on the image. It'll be halfway on the image. And then I'll say, and it has to be 1280 by 720 and less than 2 meg. They're always not that. They're always something else. I'm like, what part of the dimensions are you not getting? Like, they just don't, it doesn't work. It just does not work. Image generation is so generic and crappy. Go and have a look on my channel and have a look at the past, say, 6 live streams. You'll see it. Even this stream, AI generated it picks this random person. Like I say, I'm doing a React stream. So put someone's face on it and they pick this random, it kind of looks like a nice person, but it's not me. It's just, I thought it would have scrubbed my channel and made like a composite of my head. No, it just chose this random person. I don't even know if it's a real person.
not anymore. In fact, they're not alone. We're in the middle of the highest stakes global race any of us have ever seen. Hundreds of billions of dollars and an unbelievable amount of human work. This is a profound moment. Most people never live through a technological shift like this, and it's happening all around you and me right now. So, in this episode, I want to try to time travel with Sam Altman into the future that he's trying to build, to see what it looks like, so that you and I can really understand.
This is too funky for me. Like, I just wanted to deliver the information. Why dressed it up so much?
What's coming? Welcome to Huge Conversations.
Huge Conversations.
How are you?
Great to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
So before we dive in, I'd love to tell you my goal here.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you about valuation or AI talent wars or fundraising.
Flosky, I wonder how these random creators somehow get these interviews. Is she famous? I don't know.
And therein lies the joy.
She got great PR team. Sophia, LLMs are not as intelligent as what people think they are. Ooh, spicy. You are the spicy one. Spicy take. Yeah, I mean, look, it seems like it's just a pretty good summary of Google, if anything.
Thank you.
Anything like that. I think that's all very well covered elsewhere.
It does seem like it.
Our big goal on this show is to cover how we can use science and tech to make the future better. And the reason that we do all of that is because we really believe that if people see those better futures, they can then help build them. So my goal here is to try my best to time travel with you into different moments in the future that you're trying to build and see what it looks like.
Okay, so now she's got my interest. She's just dumbed it down. There's no funky music. There's no stupid flash cuts. It's just her asking, or I think this is a better way to deliver this interview. Flosky, since the search engines are so horrifically bad, anything feels like super intelligence compared to those. Yeah. I mean, search engines, I don't know if they still do this, but for a long time they've been working off the SEO, right? So if you've got a good web developer and a good coder, you can trick the system to getting you up higher in the search results. It doesn't mean that your website or your blog or whatever it is any more important or any more definitive, but it just means you've had a better coder. AI gets straight to the point. Yeah, true.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Starting with what you just announced. You recently said, surprisingly recently, that GPT-4 was the dumbest model any of us will ever have to use again. But GPT-4 can already perform better than 90% of humans at the SAT and the LSAT and the GRE, and it can pass coding exams and sommelier exams and medical licensing. Yeah. And now you just launched GPT-5. What can GPT-5 do that GPT-4 can't?
First of all, one important takeaway is you can have an AI system that can do all those amazing things you just said, and it clearly does not replicate a lot of what humans are good at doing, which I think says something about the value of SAT tests or whatever else. But
Sophia, I still prefer good old Google over LLM AI, and then I can sift through the results to find the relevant info myself. Okay. Or you can just ask to use my phone.
I think had you gone back to, if we were having this conversation the day of GPT-4,
which has Chat GPT on it,
and we told you how GPT-4 did at those things, you were like, oh man, this is going to have huge impacts and some negative impacts on what it means for a bunch of jobs or, what people are going to do. And, this is a bunch of positive impacts that you might have predicted that haven't yet come true. And so there's something about the way that these models are good that does not capture a lot of other things that we need people to do or care about people doing. And
Flosky, I haven't liked Google since its inception, but to each their own. The results aren't organic, all rigged by ad influence. That's what I was trying to get at before. It's kind of a rigged game. That's only if I'm being lazy. Yeah, it's good that one of us has it anyway. I will tell you this though, MG. I used it today for this script for this video, and what it spat out was pretty good. Pretty good. I wonder if the video, we'll find out once that video goes live on my channel. We'll see if it actually does, because everything that I'm doing in that video is meant to trip the algorithm on YouTube to get more views. We'll see if it works. Say no to ad influence, right on. I prefer DuckDuckGo. Yeah, okay. I haven't really tapped into that, but I know of it and I know that it's an alternative. I actually use pre-search. I use the Brave browser trouser, and inside that browser, I have pre-search set to my search engine. Now, the simplest reason for that is because you do earn the token by using it. So I earn the basic attention token by using the Brave browser, and I earn pre-token by using pre-search search engine. Now, you might say that's pretty dumb, dude. Are you just doing that for the tokens? Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Now I'm getting multiple messages here. Gotcha. Copy that. Yeah, none of the search engines are good though. I use DuckDuckGo too, but the results usually suck just as bad. I mean, if search engines were good, you'd still be using AltaVista, right? If they worked, we'd all still be using Yahoo and AltaVista. Why would you not use them? They worked. Why not? Why do they stop working? You know why? It's because the next one that comes along gets developed better, and they have more of a monetization model, and suddenly Google's the king because of paid ads. It was better back then, to be honest. They got much worse. I mean, something changed, right? Something changed in the ecosystem.
And I suspect.
Yo, H-Man, how you doing? Had ChatGPT make me a Tetris game last night. Varying results. Interesting. Can you ask ChatGPT where Shiloh Rose is on her birthday? She hasn't responded. She's not here.
It's going to happen again with GPT-5. People are going to be blown away by what it does. It's really good at a lot of things. And then they will find that.
Sorry to cut in here on something technical, but you know what's pissing me off? In this stage setup, that they've obviously got an Elgato key light like I have, and you can see it right there. That's just a poor placement of the camera on the angles. They should have spotted that. Like, how can you not see that? You set this scene up and you didn't spot that almighty light reflection right there. It's blaring. It's right at the top of the – like, that's horrible. Someone should have said, hang on, guys, we got to angle this better. Flowski, it used to be just about good algorithm that rewarded the best content. Now it's just about who pays the most. Bingo. Yeah.
Want it to do even more. People will use it for all sorts of incredible things. It will transform a lot of knowledge work, a lot of the way we learn, a lot of the way we create. But we, people, society will co-evolve with it to expect more with, better tools. So yeah, like I think this model is quite remarkable in many ways, quite limited in others. But the fact that for, 3-minute, 5-minute, 1-hour tasks,
I got to sneeze.
That,
Excuse me.
An expert in a field maybe struggle with, that the fact that you have in your pocket one piece of software that can do all of these things is really amazing. I think this is like unprecedented at any point in human history that a technology has improved this much, this fast. And the fact that we have this tool now, we're like living through it and we're kind of adjusting step by step. But if we could go back in time 5 or 10 years and say this thing was coming, we would.
Bless you. Thank you, Sophia. You're so kind. It's fun to get AI to make things like coding. That's mostly what I use it for. I used AI or ChatGPT and Copilot I use both of them in cohorts to redesign my photography website. And there's no way I could have done that without it. Aside from paying someone to do it or trying to find like a plugin that does the things, there's no chance I could have done that. And I did it basically all coded myself. Well, I learned from the GPT machine and I did it all myself. I just messaged to myself. I only just got out of bed though. That's all right, Hendrik. Yeah. It's her birthday today. Everybody, it's Charlotte's birthday. She's been missing for a long while, but it is her birthday. So even if she watches the replay here, she can see that we all, well, at least I did. No one else has wished a happy birthday yet, but I did. So I used it to code, but I despise it now. So I have to use AI if I want to make stuff. You used to be a coder, Flowski. Is that right? There it is. Happy birthday, Charlotte. So there's 2 of us now. Thank you, man.
Like, probably not.
Let's assume that people haven't seen the headlines. What are the top line specific things that you're excited?
Who is Shiloh? Shiloh is a long-term in this chat right now. H-Man, Hendrik, and Shiloh are 2 people that have been with my channel pretty much from the beginning. if not the right, like the full beginning, at least within the first 6 months of my channel being on the internet, Shiloh and Hendrik have been there. So yeah, long-term supporter, and she has up and downs like we all do in life, and she comes and goes, and she's always got a home here. But she's been, I guess it's been probably maybe 6 months since we've seen her, but it's all right. She just does a thing. Haven't I, Hendrik? Oh, I might have missed that. Sorry, H-Man. You might have also said happy birthday. Flowski, that's how I was able to do the CSS stuff for you a while back. Yeah. Whoa. While we're here, can we try? No. I was being silly. I like my chat now, the Beam Stream chat. If anything, I would like the site logo to be a little larger. If you look on my screen, you can see the Kick and the YouTube. I'd like that to be just a little bit larger. But then if I was going to do that, I'd also make the font slightly larger. Just saying. I don't expect you to do it, Flowski. I'm just saying that's what if I'm being the pedantic streamer that I am, when I look at my screen and I see the on-screen chat in both instances, this and that, I'd like these little avatars to be slightly larger, the font of the text to be bigger. The streamer's name is fine, just a slightly bit bigger for these old aging eyes.
Excited about, and also the things that you seem to be caveating, the things that maybe you won't expect.
Here we go. Here come the updates.
The thing that I am most excited about is this is a model for the first time where I feel like I can ask kind of any hard scientific or technical question and get a pretty good answer. And I'll give a fun example, actually. When I was in junior high, or maybe it was 9th grade, I got a TI-83, this old graphing calculator. And I spent so long making this game called Snake. Yeah. It was a very popular game with kids in my school. And I was like pro when it was done, but it was like programming on a TI-83 was extremely painful. It took a long time. It was really hard to like debug and whatever. And on a whim, with an early copy of GPT-5, I was like, I wonder if it can make a TI-83 style game of Snake. And of course it did that perfectly in like 7 seconds. And then I was like, okay, am I supposed to be...
That's incredible, right? He just programmed a game in 7 seconds, the one that took him all of his year at school. Flowski, I'd align the top pixels of the logo with the top line of the username. Man, I didn't even spot that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'd do that too, now that I can see it. I wish I hadn't seen that. I got it to put the CSS, JavaScript, and HTML into a single Tetris.html, so it loads it and it runs it straight from there. Sophia, wait, is he the inventor of the Snake game on phones? I guess he is. Yeah. I guess he is. Sam Altman. Yeah, I guess he is.
With my like 11-year-old self.
You know what? Tell you what, we could find that out. You know how we could find that out? By using this Chat GPT. Be right back. No worries, Charles. Yo, who did that over on DLive? Someone just gifted out subs to the channel. Thank you so much, whoever that was. Josh Key. Did Sam Altman develop the Snake game on iPhones? Searching the web. Nope, Sam Altman did not develop the Snake game on iPhones, or any phones for that matter. The classic mobile game Snake was actually created by Tennille Armanto. Who's doing that, gifting out subs to the channel? That's Jake also gifting out subs. Jake, thank you, man. Thank you, dude. There's also Snake 2. Okay, so it wasn't Sam Altman. He's the CEO of OpenAI, which is the housing figure behind ChatGPT. So no, he does not have anything to do with Snake. There you go. He had a version of it, though, that he said he did. But to answer the question from Sophia in the chat, no, he did not.
Think this was cool or like, miss something from the process. And I had like 3 seconds of wondering like, oh, is this good or bad? And then I immediately said, actually, now I'm missing this game. I have this idea for a crazy new feature. Let me type it in. It implements it. And it just, the game live updates. And now I'm like, actually, I'd like it to look this way. Actually, I'd like to do this thing. And I had this very like kind of, yeah, this experience that reminded me of being like 11 in programming again, where I was just like, now I want to try this. Now I have this idea. But I could do it so fast. And
Sorry to cut in on you, Sammy boy, but Hendrik said he bought a single month subscription. You're learning a lot. So you're paying for Chat GPT. So I should have said that. I'm not paying. I'm using the free tier, and I'm running into the limit very quickly. Every time I use it, I hit the limit, especially when I'm uploading images. That's like, that one really frustrates me. It's like, oh, you've uploaded too many images, bad luck. And I'm like, oh, now I've got to go to a free one and try to use the same images again with the same prompts. I've got to cut and paste, blah, 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 blah. This subject matter is very timely. Yeah, I'm interested in learning about how I can use the 5. I'm more distracted by those weird black cups and huge mics and the light reflection. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. The light reflection kills me, but I can see what you mean. But then again, we're kind of used to seeing microphones in frame, right? We're used to it now. What's this limit you speak of? Sophia, once you hit a certain amount of prompting, like and let's put it back in Google terms, once you've done a certain amount of searching, there's no more searching unless you pay for it. And it dries up a lot quicker if your searching includes an image. So if you're doing something like this, I'm changing some stuff in Govan. I'm putting in some different readers. I'm just changing the binacle, and I've got to attach these wires back to this harness because this is the existing wiring plume that came out of Govan. I'm trying to get it to focus on the, yeah. So all these colored wires have to attach to these new hardware devices, and I'm literally uploading the photos of the existing wiring and the plume and saying which one goes to where and blah, 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 blah. And ChatGPT is like, I know this binacle and this is how it works, and these are the colors that typically represent this and this and this. So that's it. You'll need to get a soldering iron. Checkmate. Got this one, the Ryobi lithium battery. It's pretty sick. Little USB battery. Just charge it up pretty simply. Slides it in. Yo, Zavara with the follow. Zvara, thanks for following. Zvra. That's a hard name to say. The cups are placed pretty well. My brain's AI removes your mic. I almost never think about it anymore. Interesting. Thank you, Svara. It took me a while to figure out that there were cups. They look like weird attachments to the mic at first. They do kind of look like they're part of that mic stand just coming down into a little V there. She followed. That makes you the latest giver. No, she's not here on Beamstream. I'd do my giver spiel if it was D-Live. Zavara. That's how you say it? Zavara. Zavara. It's good to see you, Zavara, over on Beamstream, chatting in the Beamstream chat. I like that. Not often we see someone chatting in the Beamstream chat. I like it. I'm putting it there. I like it. Well, I'm there with you, Zavara. Let's continue on.
Could like express ideas and try things and play with things in such real time.
It's a hideous mic setup. Thank you. Yeah, it is. Mine's much nicer. There was a time, I know you're talking about the stream or the interview, but there was a time when I used to put that away from I used to hide it from the viewers. Now I had to ramp up the gain and everything. It doesn't sound as good when it's far away. And then I thought, everybody else has their mic in view, so I'm just going to bring it into view, and then we can hang poopsy stuff off of it as well. So it's got a two-pronged, it's a two-pronged feel. Flowski, I like when streamers have little personal doodads on their mic, like your little bracelet. There you go, right? That's a poopsy little, she made a Gives a Minute bracelet. She put one on that one as well, but it's out of frame right now. Yeah. Could hang any kind of stuff up there, right? All kinds of stuff. All the things. I like it too.
Oh man, I was worried for a second about kids like missing the struggle of learning to program. And this
also can get really close here and have a real sexy time back here, What happened with Party in the end? Oh, they let me back on. They said that they were overreacted.
Sort of Stone Age way. And now I'm just thrilled for them because the way that people will be able to create with these new tools, the speed with which you can sort of bring ideas to life, that's pretty amazing. So this idea that GPT-5 can just not only like
That's
answer
cool,
all
yeah.
these hard questions for you, but really
That's mature of
create-
them. Yeah, apparently it was a one of the mods was overreacting, and another mod stepped in over the top and said, "Yeah, we'll reverse that. If you agree not to have her on stream without you again, like if you're there, that's fine. But if you disappear, you got to mute the camera or take the camera off." I said, "That's cool," and then they just reversed it. So it was that mod, that Dev Carey or Dev Clevery or whatever it was. She just overstepped the line.
like on demand, almost instantaneous software. I think that's going to be one of the defining
Dev Marvel, that's
elements
it.
of the
Yep.
GPT-5 era
Dev
in
Marvel.
a way that did
That's
not
right.
exist with GPT-4.
As you're talking about that, I find myself thinking about a concept in weightlifting of time under tension.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, it's you can squat 100 pounds in 3 seconds or you can squat 100 pounds in 30. You gain a lot more
Yeah.
by squatting it in 30. And when I think about our creative process and when I've felt most like I've done my best work, it has required an enormous amount of
You have to sit there and
cognitive
struggle.
time under
Yeah.
tension. And I think that cognitive time under tension is so important. And it's ironic almost because these tools have taken enormous cognitive time under tension to develop. But in some ways, I do think people might say people are using them as a escape hatch for thinking in some ways, maybe. Now, you might say, yeah, but we did that with the calculator and we just moved on to harder math problems. Do you feel like there's something different happening here? How do you think about this?
It's different there are some people who are clearly using ChatGPT not to think.
I heard everything she said, but none of it stuck with me. I completely missed what she just asked. You know what? You know why? I was thinking about how good looking both of these people are. Like, I don't know if he's got a partner or if she's got a partner, but they look like they would be a good couple. They're just the two of them have a very. I guess what I'm saying is, imagine their children if they had children together. That's what I was thinking when she was, and I was like, time under tension. What the hell is she talking about? Flowski, I definitely think less, but I also solve problems that I couldn't have before, thus in a way expanding my capacity. I'm not going to lie. I've learned so much just because of using ChatGPT. Like heaps of stuff has been explained to me and showcased. And now you might say, well, go ahead and do that without ChatGPT. No, you still need I still need the training wheels, but I can ride the bike now. Sophia, it's because of her stupid voice. I don't know. Like when she was talking, I heard what she said, but it just didn't lodge anywhere in my head. I like her channel. She asks great questions. Sam is gay. Oh, okay. I don't know either of these creators. I thought she was the NFT chick. I thought that's who that was. The NFT. Explain an NFT to me. We should watch that again for shits and giggles. That's a funny video. It's fungible. Now it's not. That was really funny. I thought that's who that was.
And there are some people who are using it to think more than they ever have before. I am hopeful that we will be able to build the tool in a way that encourages more people to.
It's easy to explain.
Stretch them.
NFTs are stupid. Done. The NFT craze has certainly wound down, hasn't it? Oh, yeah.
Brain with it a little more and be able to do more. And I think that society is a competitive place. Like if you give people new tools, in theory, maybe people just work less, but in practice, it seems like people work ever harder and the expectations of people just go up. So my guess is that like other tools, some people, or like other pieces of technology, some people will do more and some people will do less. But certainly for the people who want to use ChatGPT to increase their cognitive time under tension, they are really able to. And it is
the concept of NFTs. I don't have a problem with like digital representation of a physical item. Like I don't have a problem with that. I think that's pretty solid. But the way that it got implemented is just comical. To think that people were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a link that just pointed to a random thing that could change at the other end. Like if this link points to a WordPress blog and that thing is the JPEG and then that link changes to something else, you have a digital link you have ownership of a digital link that could point to anything, not the thing that you thought you bought. It's crazy. It's one of those things that you look back on. I reckon in like another 10 years, and you'll be like, man, did we really have that? Was that really, were they really a thing? People were buying that? Just like we look back on COVID now and go, did that really happen? Like, did we really go through multiple lockdowns, and did we really have to wear masks and sit down in restaurants and stand up 1.2 meters? And did we really have to, like, you could only take your mask down to take a drink when you're boarding a plane, but all the rest, because all that stuff, like, you'll be looking at it and going, nah, man, that didn't really happen. The fact that anyone can reproduce them and they're not unique is funny. It's not even that. It, like, the concept of digital ownership, like the proof of ownership on a chain is solid. That's a good concept, but the way that it's been implemented is just so sketchy. There was an NFT channel called Fake JPEGs or something like that. She's since rebranded. Yeah, right. I'm sure she has.
I take a lot of inspiration.
Balthia, how you doing, Balthia? How you doing over on Partai? How you doing, Balthia? Flowski, I still run across YouTube videos, people from that time that with masks on. Dude, I'm not kidding. I drove past a person yesterday driving in like a workman's ute. We call it a ute. A truck. Driving in a truck. Window down, mask on. Window down, mask on. I was like, mask on? At this point in 2025, you're wearing a mask while driving your vehicle? Okay, maybe there's someone else in there with them. Nope, all alone. And the windows are down. Okay, all right, extra safety. Doing good. I'm doing well too, man. Doing well too. Thank you for asking.
Top 5% of most engaged users do with ChatGPT. Like, it's really amazing how much people are learning and doing and, outputting.
So I've only had GPT-5 for a couple hours, so I've been playing with it.
What do you think so far?
I'm just learning how to interact with it. I mean, part of the interesting thing is I feel like I just caught up on how to use GPT-4 and now.
Well, that's interesting. She said she's only had it a couple of hours and she's just learning how to interact with it. I've had it for like 4 or 5 days, and you don't interact with it any differently than what you did with 4. You still ask it prompts, unless I'm missing something. I'd wear a mask if I was cutting a lot of wood. Yeah, fair. Or if you're in a doctor's surgery where people are sick, absolutely. Balthia, what are you watching? This is Sam Altman talking about Chat GPT-5. I'm an avid user of Chat GPT-4 and now 5, but I'm just wondering if there are some earth-shattering changes that we need to be aware of. Makes no sense. Nothing's changed. Yeah, you still interact with it the same. You still ask it questions and respond to prompts. It just got smarter, supposedly. Okay. Well, if it got smarter, it was already pretty smart.
Trying to learn how to use GPT-5. I'm curious what the specific tasks that you found most interesting are, because I imagine you've been using it for a while now.
I have been most impressed by the coding tasks. I mean, there's a lot of other things it's really good at, but this idea of the AI can write software for anything, and that means that you can express ideas in new ways, that the AI can do very advanced things. It can do, it can, like, in some sense, you could like ask GPT-4 anything, but because GPT-5 is so good at programming, it feels like it can do anything. Of course, it can't do things in the physical world, but it can get a computer to do very complex things.
So GPT-4 is back in the paid version. I have not used it yet. I gotta plead ignorance here. I thought, let me just bring mine over again. I thought we were all in the 5. So right now, ChatGPT, great for everyday tasks. ChatGPT Plus is the upgrade. Let me just ask it, am I using GPT-5 or 4? You're chatting with GPT-5. So the paid version. So we've done this before, but what's the difference? So what's the difference with the paid version? We've done this before, but I can't recall the exact answer. I think it just gives you more options to upload things and faster. This is quite slow, right? It's stalled out. Wow. You see that? It's actually stalled. It's still blinking. The main reason, Flowski, I haven't really used it is that last time I checked, you need an account or even pay for certain things. It's really stalled out there. Ask it again. What's going on here? This is why you need the paid version. Oh, here we go. Right now, the main difference between what you're using, the free plan and the paid version, is about speed. It took forever to say that too. I guess it's really making its point here. You really made your point clear there, GPT. Paid users get faster responses and priority, okay? On the free plan, if servers are busy, you might experience slower replies. On cue, right on flow. Is right on cue, wasn't it? More message allowance, extra tools, tiers gives broader, yeah. Consistency of the model. On the free plan, you might temporarily switch to a smaller model, right? Yeah, there you go. So that's what I thought, that it's pretty much, you're still getting the same experience, but you get a better version of the experience.
And software is this super powerful, way to like control some stuff and actually do some things. So that for me has been the most striking. It's much better at writing. So this is like, there's this whole thing of AI slop, like AI writes in this kind of like quite annoying way. And
coding, if you ask about paid version, it takes 300% longer to answer to reinforce the idea. Interesting.
M dashes.
We still have the M dashes in GPT-5. A lot of people like the M dashes, but the writing quality of GPT-5 is gotten much better. We still have a long way to go. We want to improve it more, but like.
Strangely, it was cheaper to upgrade to Plus on the iPhone than on the website. Oh, wow. OpenAI are paying the Apple tax. Interesting. They're eating that 30% tax thing. Yeah, okay, interesting. So don't go to the website to do it.
I think we've heard a lot from people inside of OpenAI is that, man, they started using GPT-5. They knew it was better on all the metrics, but there's this like nuanced quality they can't quite articulate. But then when they have to go back to GPT-4 to test something, it feels terrible. And I don't know exactly what the cause of that is, but I suspect part of it is the writing feels so much more.
Flowski uses Gemini 2.5, not as good as Pro, but free and seemingly unlimited. I've never hit a token. I got to say too, on Copilot, I've not hit a limit either. It's pretty hideous what it spits back. Insert definitely in regards to images, but I've never hit a limit.
I, in preparation for this interview, reached out to a couple other leaders in AI and technology and gathered a couple questions for you.
Yeah, unlimited.
So this next question is from Stripe CEO Patrick Collison.
This will be a good one, I'm sure.
Read this verbatim. It's about the next stage, what comes after GPT-5. In which year do you think a large language model will make a significant scientific discovery? And what's missing such that it hasn't happened yet? He caveated here that we should leave math and special case models like AlphaFold aside. He's specifically asking about fully general purpose models like the GPT series.
That's interesting.
I would say most people will agree that happens at some point over the next 2 years, but the definition of significant matters a lot. And so some people's significant might happen, in early 25. Some people might, maybe not until late 2026. Sorry, early 2026. Maybe some people not until late 2027. But I would bet that by late.
Hendrik, you've tried Z.ai and DeepSeek, Z or Z. Okay, I have not seen that one.
Late 27, most people agree that there has been an AI-driven significant new discovery. And the thing that I think is missing is just the kind of cognitive power of these models. A framework that one of the researchers said to me that I really liked is, a year ago, we could do well on like a basic high school math competition. Problems that might take a professional mathematician seconds to a few minutes. We very recently got an IMO gold medal. That is a crazy, difficult,
Could you explain what that means
that's
for
kind
people?
of like the hardest competition math test. This is something that the very, very top slice of the world, many, many professional mathematicians wouldn't solve a single problem. And we scored at the top level. Now there's some humans.
That's so interesting. Not even the top mathematicians can solve these puzzles, and AI can. That's pretty crazy. Flowski, I imagine they're good from the press and them, but it kind of avoid the Chinese stuff in case it's insecure. Yeah. There is Quen 3, not tried that yet. Okay. I still feel like it's just early days, especially with the image generating stuff. I've always got to take those thumbnails back into Photoshop to resize them correctly and get them under 2 meg. That seems like an easy thing that these things should be able to do.
They got an even higher score in the gold medal range, but we this is a crazy accomplishment. And each of these problems, it's like 6 problems over 9 hours, so 1.5 hours per problem for a great mathematician. So we've gone from a few seconds to a few minutes to 1.5 hours. Maybe to prove a significant new mathematical theorem.
Hang on. We're missing something here. If in these instances of these super, super hard math problems, and only a certain select few mathematicians can do the problem and get to the answer, how do you know ChatGPT's got it right? You know, like if you're saying on the planet there's only like 3 mathematicians that can solve these problems, and we give it to ChatGPT and it does it in 7 seconds, how are you knowing it's correct? If only do you get those 3 mathematicians to come and verify and say, yeah, that looks right, that checks out? Are we just assuming it's right? Like, you know, like I'm not trying to pick straws here, but how do we know it's right? The AI tells you it's right, but it might not be right. Like it spits back the image, then I ask it for 1280 or 12 whatever it is, 1280 by 720, and it spits back one at 3000 and it's way over 2 meg. I'm like, and until I check it in Photoshop and then report back and say you did this wrong, it doesn't say anything. It thinks it's done it correct. H-Man, I got OpenAI Sora 2 with a subscription. Not tried it yet. Okay, you're going off with the AIs here, Hendrik. Flowski, maybe they've standardized questions that already have known answers. Okay, but the AI doesn't have to answer and it has to solve. Okay, so they've given it a task, but they already know what the answer is. Yeah, okay. That's why I'm not a coder. I didn't think of that, but you're probably right. You're definitely right. That's what they've done for sure.
1,000 hours of work for a top person in the world. So we've got to go from, you know, another significant gain. But if you look at our trajectory, you can say like, okay, we're getting to that. We have a path to get to that time horizon. We just need to keep scaling the models.
The long-term future that you've described is superintelligence. What does that actually mean? And how will we know when we've hit it?
If we had a system that could do better research, better AI research than, say, the whole OpenAI research team, like if we said, okay, the best way we can use our GPUs is to let this AI decide what experiments we should run, smarter than like the whole brain trust of OpenAI.
Yeah.
And if that same, to make a personal example, if that same system could do a better job running OpenAI than I could, so you have something that's like, you know, better than the best researchers, better than me at this, better than other people at their jobs, that would feel like super intelligence to me.
Wow.
That is a sentence that would have sounded like science fiction just a couple of years ago.
It still
and now
kind of does, but you can like see it through the fog.
Yes.
Oh, H-Man, it may be able to be a side hustle for you. Just need to be careful with the pension. Wow, dude, you got some work on the side there, hey? That's cool, man. That's cool. If AI's got you a gig, hell yeah. That'd be cool, Hendrik. I'm not creative enough to make money. Yeah, well done, H-Man. That's good.
And so one of the steps, it sounds like you're saying, on that path is this moment of scientific discovery, of asking better questions, of grappling with things in a way that expert level humans do to come up with new discoveries. One of the things that keeps knocking around in my head is if we were in 1899, say, and we were able to give it all of physics up until that point and play it out a little bit, nothing further than that. Like, at what point would one of these systems come up with general relativity?
Interesting question.
Interesting question is, did you, like, if we think about that,
snap,
like if we think of where we are now, if we never got another piece of physics data?
That is a great question. Yeah. And the idea of this, of cutting it off at a certain time, does it go back in history and say, okay, if you tell me to snap this knowledge base off at 899 BC, and you ask me a question, it's really not going to have any answers, is it? Like, what are those lights in the sky? We don't know. No. I don't have a side gig, but if I can do it, for me, I'm all in. Yeah. We're encouraging you to go for it, H-Man. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Do we expect that a really good superintelligence could just think super hard about our existing data and maybe say, like, solve high energy physics with no new particle accelerator, or does it need to build a new one and design new experiments? Obviously, we don't know the answer to that. Different people have different speculation. But I suspect we will find that for a lot of science, it's not enough to just think harder about the data we have, but we will need to build new instruments, conduct new experiments, and that will take some time. Like that is, the real world is slow and messy and, you know, whatever.
Flowski, if I could think of a way to make passive income with AI, I'd totally do it. I'm just mostly brain dead these days. I feel like it's going to have to be like trading like either stocks or crypto. That's you're gonna use AI to generate a bot that's going to trade within your, like if you allocate say $100 a week and you say, I don't mind losing this 100, but over the course of the next 8 weeks, I want to turn this $100 into $1,000. And then I want to take that 1,000 and turn it into 10,000 and just get it to make all the trades for you. That's how I think that's how I think the most obvious way to make money with it would be.
So I'm sure we could make some more progress just by thinking harder about the current scientific data we have in the world. But my guess is to make the big progress, we'll also need to build new machines and run new experiments, and there will be some slowdown built into that.
Another way of thinking about this is AI systems now are just incredibly good at answering almost any question. But maybe one of the things we're saying is it's another leap yet. And what Patrick's question is getting at is to ask the better questions.
Or if we go back to this kind of timeline question, we could maybe say that AI systems are superhuman on 1-minute tasks, but a long way to go to the 1,000-hour tasks. Yeah,
for day trading, H-Man, exactly. For times when you don't want to be tied to the computer, but you still want to trade you want to trade the sales and you want to buy the dips and sell the tops and Corey, go away.
And there's a dimension of human intelligence that seems very different than AI systems when it comes to these long horizon tasks. Now, I think we will figure it out.
As long as it has like stop limits. Yeah, you'd have to implement your own stop limits, and you'd tell that. You'd say, look, I've got this amount of, I want to sell at this point, I want to buy, or you say, what would you recommend? What would you recommend I do to ensure that this $100 becomes $1,000 within 10 days or whatever it is?
We've talked about where we are now with GPT-5. We talked about the end goal or future goal of superintelligence. One of the questions that I have, of course, is what does it look like to walk through the fog between the two? The next question is from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. I'm going to read this verbatim. Fact is what is. Truth is what it means. So facts are objective. Truths are personal. They depend on perspective, culture, values, beliefs, context. One AI can learn and know the facts, but how does one AI know the truth for everyone in every country and every background?
I'm going to accept as axioms those definitions. I'm not sure if I agree with them, but in the interest of time, I will just take them. I will take those definitions and go with it. I have been surprised. I think many other people have been surprised too about how fluent AI is at adapting to different cultural contexts and individuals. One of my favorite features that we have ever launched in ChatGPT is the sort of enhanced memory that came out earlier this year. Like, it really feels like my ChatGPT gets to know me and what I care about and like my life experiences and background and the things that have led me to where they are. A friend of mine recently who's been a huge...
I do like that feature where it remembers you, and when you come back in like weeks from now, I can just start talking about the Binacle and it will know what and you don't have to, it just picks up from where you left. It's pretty rad. Flowski, I wish I had a beefy enough GPT to do a lot of local AI. Oh, local AI. Interesting. In a monster chip. Yeah, right. I never thought about running it locally. Interesting.
Huge ChatGPT user. So he's got a lot of, he's put a lot of his life into all these conversations. He gave his ChatGPT a bunch of personality tests and asked them to answer as if they were him. And it got the same scores he actually got, even though he never really talked about his personality. And my ChatGPT has really learned over the years of me talking to it about my
A lot of people are doing that. Is that right? Running AI local. So what, it handshakes the internet for the content, but then you process it on... How does that work? What it has to go out at one point to the internet.
It values my life. And I have used, I sometimes will use it in like, I'll use like a free account just to see what it's like without any of my history. And it feels really, really different. So yeah, I think we've all been surprised.
ChatGPT-4 is available now to run locally as open source. Okay. So you'd never hit a limit then if you're running it locally? Okay, I think I understand.
Side of how good AI is at learning this and adapting.
And so do you envision in many different parts of the world, people using different AIs with different sort of cultural norms and contexts? Is that what we're saying?
I think that everyone will use like the same fundamental model, but there will be context provided to that model that will make it behave.
If you do coding, it doesn't really need to internet. Okay, it just depends on what you use it for. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's fair. It's local then. Yep, that makes sense.
Personalized way they want, their community wants, whatever.
I think when we're getting at this idea of facts and truth, and it brings me to, this seems like a good moment for our first time travel trip. Okay, we're going to 2030. This is a serious question, but I want to ask it with a lighthearted example. Have you seen the bunnies that are jumping on the trampoline?
Yes.
So for those who haven't seen it, maybe, it looks like backyard footage of bunnies enjoying jumping on a trampoline. And this has gone incredibly viral recently. There's a human-made song about it. It's a whole thing.
There were bunnies that were jumping on a trampoline.
And I think the reason why people reacted so strongly to it, it was maybe the first time people saw a video, enjoyed it, and then later found out that it was completely AI generated.
You've got to be I'm going to pause for a second here. These AI generated videos, that one I haven't seen myself until now, but I feel like there's always an indicator of fakeness. Right now on Twitter, I saw an image or a video of a Ford electric vehicle. Apparently the engine or the steering wheel locked to the right and the accelerator locked to the ground. And so there's the video of this car running down the freeway in America somewhere, forcing itself into the barrier and just driving along until the barrier opens, and then the car cuts through the gap and goes across the other side and has an accident with another car, with the oncoming vehicle. It's so, like, sorry to be so blunt about it, but it's so obviously fake. But if you scroll through the comments, everybody believes that it's real, but it's so clearly fake. At one point you see inside the vehicle of the guy apparently praying. You know, he's got his hands off the wheel and he's praying because an electric vehicle, once it locks up, you can't do anything, right? And then you can see his hands. It's always the key indicator, the fingers. They're just not real. Like, they don't look like, they look like the AI just can't get and especially with moving image, the AI just messes up the hands. It's a clear indicator. But people, if you scroll through that, the majority of people believe that that's real. So it's getting to that point where you probably need to just assume it's fake. Unless they prove that it's real, whatever you see online from here on in 2025, just assume it's faked. Easy to go. It's a better way to live. It's a clearer way to live if you start from that's all fake, unless they prove that it's not. The onus is on the creator to show us that it's real, instead of presenting something that now we have the tech where everything can be done. So if you want us to believe that this is real, you prove it. Don't just post it, prove it. Hendrik, I saw the bunnies on Twitter. I had to watch a few times to see the fakeness. I mean, I'm not sure what the key indicator was with that. That looks like convincing because it's nighttime and sort of like security footage. I don't know, but I haven't seen it. I don't think it's long before it becomes totally believable. Wouldn't be surprised if I've watched AI videos without knowing it. Yeah. Like I used Grok to animate an image from a photo the other day, and it looks obviously fake, but it looks pretty good. Like, it looks good, but obviously fake. Once I suspect AI, I click away. See, I don't know if that's the right thing. Like, I feel like it's all going to be AI. Like, there's going to be nothing real anymore, I feel. So you have to embrace it. But I think that there needs to be stipulations of this is fake. One of my soccer ball juggling videos, someone said, I think this is fake. He made me laugh, but I don't blame them. Okay. The number of bunnies change as they bounce. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, that's a giveaway, right?
In this time travel trip, if we imagine in 2030 we are teenagers and we're scrolling whatever teenagers are scrolling in 2030, how do we figure out what's real and what's not real?
Good question.
I mean, I can give all sorts of literal answers to that question. We could be cryptographically signing stuff, and we could decide who we trust their signature, if they actually filmed something or not. But my sense is what's going to happen is it's just going to like gradually converge. You know, even like a photo you take out of your iPhone today, it's like mostly real, but it's a little not. There's like it's some AI thing running there in a way you don't understand and making it look like a little bit better. And sometimes you see these weird things where
The moon.
yeah. But there's like a lot of processing power between the photons captured by that camera sensor and the image you eventually see. And you've decided it's real enough, or most people decided it's real enough. But we've accepted some gradual move
Interesting.
from when it was like photons hitting the film in a camera. And, you know, if you go look at some video on TikTok, there's probably all sorts of video editing tools being used to make
What's he
better.
getting at here? Is his angle is it's all fake unless you're there? Everything's been fake from the moment cameras started recording onto film? Is that what he's going at? Is that where he's headed with this? I think this is a bad take.
Then look back. Yeah, exactly. Or it's just like, you know, whole scenes are completely generated, or some of the whole videos are generated, like those bunnies on that trampoline. And I think that the sort of like the threshold for how real does it have to be to consider to be real will just keep moving.
So it's
Wow.
sort of an education question. It's a
That wasn't a very good answer. He basically said every time someone's taken a photograph from the minute cameras became a thing, there's been some element of that that's considered fake, and that element or that percentage of the image that's been tampered with, in a sense, is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And he didn't give us any help with that. He just said that's what's happening until that element or that percentage becomes 100%, which is bunnies on a trampoline, right?
people will.
Yeah, I mean, media is always like a little bit real.
Flowski, with our thousands of hours of content available online as creators, someone could easily train a fake Ben on and have him do all sorts of annoying junk. I mean, yeah, it's true. H-Man, I've said it before, no way a camera can capture a night sky and a starlit scene at once. Do you know what, dude? They do. They can. That photo I took of Marty on the Uluru trip, I don't have it here because it's last year now. And my system is I offload all my last year's images. That photo of Marty at the campground with the stars and the sky behind, it does. It can. It already does, man. It's called capital H, capital D, capital R, HDR. High dynamic range.
Real and a little bit not real. Like, you know, we watch like a sci-fi movie. We know that didn't really happen. You watch like someone's like beautiful photo of themselves on vacation on Instagram. Like, okay, maybe that photo was like literally taken. But
Yeah,
you know,
if you do multiple frame HDR, merge it, shoot it in RAW, it can. But yeah, and they're doing the cameras. The iPhone's doing that in camera without you even asking it to do it. You got to turn that off now. That's a standard feature of the iPhone, unless you tell it don't ever do that. The cameras are already doing it, and you can handhold that. It's crazy. It's crazy, the stuff. I've photographed the aurora handheld just by holding my camera up and doing the long exposure. It was unbelievable.
Tons of tourists in line for the same photo, and that's like left out of it. And I think we just accept that. Now, certainly a higher percentage of media both will feel
Samsung's do
not
it.
real.
It usually looks pretty fake.
But-
I mean, it's grainy. It's obviously pumping everything up to the absolute max. But the fact that it's doing it, and this is the first time we've had a camera that can do it. What about in 5 cameras' time when that's normal? You'll be able to just walk past and just point it up at the moon and go, look at that. Got a photo of that plane going in front of the moon at night. Imagine a photo of a plane in front of the moon at night, and you can see the details, the details on the plane. You can see what plane it is. Like it's a Transatlantic Airlines. Do they still exist? No, it's an Ansett flight. Imagine that. That's when the moon's white and it's lit up from like the sun coming on the other side of the planet, and a plane flies in front of it, and you can get a photo of that plane with a phone and see what airline it is. It's all over at that point, right? I saw it. Try doing that with your DSLR. Your sky exposure would need to be super long. Yep. It's crazy smartphones can do that. Yeah. I mean, that was a 30-second exposure.
I think that's been the long-term trend anyway.
We're going to jump again.
Okay.
2035. We're graduating from college, you and me. There are some leaders in the AI space that have said that in 5 years, half of the entry-level white-collar workforce will be replaced by AI. So we're college graduates in 5 years. What do you hope the world looks like for us? I think there's been a lot of talk about how AI might cause job displacement, but I'm also curious. I have a job that nobody would have thought we could have,
Totally.
a decade ago. What are the things that we could look ahead if we're thinking about
I mean, in
being college
2035,
graduates?
that like graduating college student, if they still go to college at all, could very well be like leaving on a mission to explore the solar system on a spaceship in some kind of completely new, exciting,
Oh my
super well paid, super interesting job, and feeling so bad for you and I that like we had to do this kind of like really boring old kind of work, and everything is just better. Like I 10 years feels very hard to imagine at this point.
Because it's too far.
It's too far. Like
Hmm.
if you compound the
Wow.
current rate of change for 10 more years, it's
I might
probably
need to
something we
change
can't
my
even.
time
10
travel
years is
kits.
too far.
10 years, like, I mean, I think now would be really hard to imagine 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think 10 years forward will be even much harder, much more different.
Wow.
So let's make it 5 years. We're still going to 2030. I'm curious what you think the pretty short-term impacts of this will be for young people. I mean, these like half of entry-level jobs replaced by AI.
Flosky, I doubt it'll be that advanced in 10 years, just like them trying to imagine the year 2000 back in the 80s. Yeah. On a 30-second exposure, you'd still get star trails. I still call fake. You do get star trails, for sure.
Sound like a very different world that they would be entering than the one that I did.
I think it's totally true that some classes of jobs will totally go away. This always happens, and young people are the best at adapting to this. I'm more worried about what it means, not for the like 22-year-old, but for the 62-year-old that doesn't want to go retrain or reskill or whatever the politicians call it, that no one actually wants but politicians in most of the time. If I were 22 right now and graduating college, I would feel like the luckiest kid in all of history.
Why?
Because there's never been a more amazing time to go create something totally new, to go invent something, to start a company, whatever it is. I think it is probably
point.
possible now to start a company that is a one-person company that will go on to be worth like more than $1 billion, and more importantly than that, deliver an amazing product and service to the world. And that is,
Flosky, I'll get left behind for sure. Kids will hopefully be fine. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you take it back a couple of generations, there's people that still can't program a VCR. But then you fast forward to now, it's like kids are like, what's a VCR? Why do I need to program that? What do you mean program? What am I doing again? I'm recording. What am I recording? I'll just watch what I want, when I want, wherever I want, on whatever device I want. Why would I need to put this thing into this box and then come back and have it ready for me to watch later on? I'll just watch it now. There you go. I just watched it.
it's like a crazy thing. You have access to tools that can let you do what used to take teams of hundreds. And you just have to like...
Flosky, I want to live out in the country and leave all the tech behind, yet I can't. It's seemingly the future. Yeah, I'm different to that. I embrace the tech. I want the tech. I love the tech. The technology is what makes it fun. Bring it on.
You know, learn how to use these tools and come up with a great idea. And it's like quite amazing.
If we take a step back, I think the most important thing that this audience could hear from you on this optimistic show is in two parts.
You play with it for a while, but it starts feeling dystopian. Okay. Okay. The connection to Earth, the connection to something real isn't somehow it's taken away from that. Okay.
There's tactically, how are you actually trying to build the world's most powerful intelligence? And what are the rate limiting factors to doing that? And then philosophically, how are you and others working on building that technology in a way
Escape
that
it all.
really
I
helps
want to go
and not
hike in
hurts people?
nature.
So just taking the tactical
I do
part.
that, but I want to go and live stream it. I want to do that hike, but I want to sit out there and showcase it.
Right now. My understanding is that there are three big categories that have been limiting factors for AI. The first is compute, the second is data, and the third is algorithmic design. How do you think about each of those three categories right now? And if you were to help someone understand the next headlines that they might see?
That's why you're still learning it, Hendrik, because if your body gets better, I'll lose the pension, have to go back to work. I need to stay in the loop. Okay, smart dude. You're skilling up.
How would you help them make sense
Smart
of all of
guy.
this?
I would say there's a fourth too, which is figuring out the products to build. Like technology, like scientific progress on its own, not put into the hands of people, is of limited utility and doesn't sort of co-evolve with society in the same way. But if I could hit all four of those.
Yeah.
So on the compute side, yeah, this is like the biggest infrastructure project certainly that I've ever seen. Possibly it will become I think it will. Maybe already is the biggest.
We all got to keep in the loop.
In history. But
I wish I retired out years ago and didn't have to. I'm tired of learning all the time. You give up on learning.
The whole supply chain, from making the chips and the memory and the networking gear, racking them up in servers, doing, a giant construction project to build like a mega data center, putting finding a way to get the energy, which is often a limiting factor piece of this, and all the other components together. This is hugely complex and expensive, and we're still doing this in like a sort of bespoke one-off way, although it's getting better. Like eventually we will just design a whole kind of like mega factory that takes, spiritually it will be melting sand on one end and putting out fully built AI compute on the other. But we're a long way to go from that. And
that's crazy.
It's an enormously complex and expensive process. We are putting a huge amount of work into building out as much compute as we can, and to do it fast. And it's going to be like sad because GPT-5 is going to launch and there's going to be another big spike in demand and we're not going to be able to serve it. And it's going to be like those early GPT-4 days. And the world just wants much more AI than we can currently deliver. And building more compute is an important part of doing that. This is what I expect to turn the majority of my attention to, is how we build compute at much greater scales. So how we go from millions to tens of millions and hundreds of millions, and eventually, hopefully, billions of GPUs that are sort of in service of what people want to do with this.
When you're thinking,
interesting, Flo. I think it'd be funny if AI peaks out and all these predictions fall flat. There's something in that, because at the stage that we're at right now, everything's kind of new and funky, and people are making bunny jumping on trampoline videos. But that phase won't last forever, and once that phase is moved on to the next phase, we'll end up being, people will be like, no, I don't need that anymore. I don't need to touch or tap into that. I've got this, I've got that, and therefore people will stop using it. Sure, I can see that happening. I can definitely see that becoming a thing. It's hit and miss so far. It's like any new tech. There's an adoption phase, and then there's like a lull, and then there's like, oh, this is what this stuff's actually going to be used for. I hope so. We don't need to despair as humans for hope and a future. I mean, yeah, people can use it for the right reasons and the wrong reasons. Yeah, I can see how there'll be a lull. Hey, what happened? What happened? Did that just kill my? Wait. This has happened once before, where I've come back into a video and I had to reload the audio. Hey, AI, what's going on? Let me just reload the audio capture. It's happened once before. I'll just see if this fixes it. No. Did I mute it? No, it's not muted. This has happened once before. Let me just see if I'm not getting it's weird. I'm not getting any register on my output. You put your elbow on the table. Did you smash a button? No, I did not. No, I did not. Hang on a second. It's this Firefox audio capture. Let me just restart capture here. Firefox. I think restarting it fixes it. And then getting out of it and bringing it back in full screen mode. Nope. Did not. It's very odd. Yo, Dougsy, how you doing, man? How you doing, Doug? Interesting. I don't know what to do. I'll get off there for a second and I'll just check it in studio mode. I guess that's the best process here to see if I can't. Oh, I can't check it in studio mode because I'm actually using it. Okay. We'll turn off studio mode. Let's just go. Oh, hang on a second. I'll do it. I'll just go back over here and I'll just erase this audio application. I'll call it desktop application. You're screaming against Mr. Beast on Kick. Is he on Kick right now, is he? I've heard of that guy. I've heard of him. Yo, Jimmy. Can I get a host? Jimmy. It's not working. Okay. Oh, let me check loopback. That's what I needed to do. Let me just check loopback. It's weird because this has happened a couple of times where I've just been streaming and then my audio's dropped out for some reason. So I just checked into loopback there. Loopback, there's nothing. Charles, I'm going to grab myself a homebrew in a second. Not in a second, in a moment. Why? It's still not coming through. And I'll be pouring it. I'll be pouring it. Don't worry about that. Earlier today, I got 2 notifications about Mr. Beast, not even following him. They must have forced it on everyone. Is that right? You know what? Hold on a second. Let me try this. Okay. So there's audio coming out of the Kansas, out of the that's audio coming out of the desktop, but you couldn't hear it. But now if I just bring it back in here, it should be good. It's weird how it does this. I'll just change that out. Firefox audio. Application audio capture. Application is Firefox. Restart capture. It's grayed out. Still not working. Still not working. What is going off? I'll quit Firefox. That's an idea. Quit Firefox. And now I'll reload it. Just reloaded it. Let's see if it pulls it back in. It should come back from where we left off too in terms of playback position. Is it not going to? It's not playing and it didn't load it back to where we were. I know we were at 27 minutes though. Okay, that's weird, dude. So, okay.
Sad because
I know you can hear that, but that's just audio playing. That just tells me audio is coming out of Firefox. You know what we should do? I'm going to pause here anyway because I want to open these olives. I want to open these homemade olives, and then we'll come back into fixing that crap. Here, I love olives, and I need a spoon or a fork, a knife. You know what? We'll take a break. I'll run the surfing clip. I'll go and get myself a fork. Yeah, because it's oil. I'll get a fork. I've got a napkin here. I'll be right back with olives. Ah, yes. Okay. I think it's time to, first of all, crack a home brew, exclamation drink, exclamation pour in the chat. I'm beating you. And then we're going to open these olives. Yes, the olives. Got in just at the last second with that. Cheers as all. I made this brew. And it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. What's better than drinking a home brew, but also eating homemade olives from Tasmania?
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
All that, all mow on the lawn and go on fishing. Homemade olives from Tasmania. Grab myself a fork here. Now be careful. These do include pipses. Ooh, they're circular. They're not flat. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Zesty. What? They're zesty. It's like citrusy. How am I tasting citrusy? I want the darkest black one. It's really nice. Really nice oils. Is there lemon in here or something? It's got a citrusy flavor to it. They're really good. But I don't want to bore you all watching me eat olives on a stream. It's not a cool idea, but these are special from Tasmania, so I did want to crack them on the stream. Is this going to work for me? I tried fixing it during the break. Are we going to get audio from Sam? No, we're not. Let me do one other thing here. Let me just open up sound source. See if I can't just re-trigger an alert here. Firefox has no redirect. I'll just redirect it to the multi-track podcast machine. Now I'll redirect it back. I don't know why this wouldn't be working. It's kind of strange. Sound source, no redirect. Firefox is on. Output, I'm going to just change some things here. While you fetched all this homebrew, I fixed up a huge... That's going to be weird. That is going to be weird. A whole huge bowl of ice cream, bananas, strawberries, and chocolate syrup. Man, who's got the sweet tooth there? Heck yeah. I'll just rewind this a bit, and I'm just going to fiddle with some audio. I know you can't hear that. I'm just trying to fiddle with this while it happens. I can see the audio waveform coming out. If I mute this, now it's coming out of there. We don't want that. We don't want that. Let's just change the output to, let's just change it to here. No. Weird, dude. Not like some madman. Okay.
What do you think about?
So there it is coming out of there. It's weird how it's not capturing it. I don't know what to do. I genuinely don't know what to do here because, okay, it's got to be, okay. We know okay, let's think about this. We know the audio is working. So we just need to patch it back into OBS. I heard her voice for a split second. So you were hearing it out of the speakers from the laptop, which isn't going to be suitable. But if the audio is working, then the problem lies in OBS capturing the audio. So let me just absolutely tweak this one more time. Let's change it to let's just change to desktop audio capture. We'll just mute that. Now we'll open it up again and we'll call it a new application audio capture. We're going to capture Firefox. If this doesn't work, I'll delete it and re-add.
Use the hole, bridge the hole, or fill the hole.
I thought that was what it was. Use the hole. That's not what it was. Interesting. It's not there at all. Okay. So I'm going to delete this audio capture and I'm going to start again. Firefox audio capture, I'll just delete it. And it's deleted. And Firefox will go audio input capture. We'll go, I'll call it Firefox audio. Can we add a, oh, no, my bad. Did the wrong one. Sorry about this, folks. It's kind of frustrating. I was really enjoying that until this happened. Where is the audio? So what? Depreciated? Audio output capture has been depreciated? Audio output capture has been depreciated. Has this been a new update to... What? Hang on. What am I missing here? This is horrible. Brave audio. That wouldn't happen midstream though. It did happen though. The OBS stopped capturing the audio coming in because it's coming into OBS. Oh, an OBS update. No. That, yeah, you're right. That wouldn't happen midstream. Mac OS audio capture. That's what I want. Here we go. Firefox audio. Just giving it a name that I'll know. Firefox audio. And we are going to capture application audio, Firefox browser. And that's all I needed to do there. And that should be good.
And doesn't sort of co-evolve with society in the same way. But if I could hit all four of those.
Now it's coming into OBS, but we need to monitor advanced audio properties, Firefox audio, monitor off. Needs to be monitor only, mute output. Now we should be hearing it.
Yeah.
Yep, we're back.
So
the hell? Like, okay, so just for those that want to know the technicalities of what's going on there, my browser sends audio into my Rodecaster Pro 2. The Rodecaster Pro 2 mixes all the audio together, sends it back to OBS, where OBS outputs it via the mic/auxiliary output. So when I look to my OBS, I see one level and it's everything mixed together. All the mixing takes place on the hardware. I also go via the Stream Deck so I can ramp up and down the Firefox volume with the Stream Deck control knob. But then if I need to do any more fine tuning, that all takes place in the Rodecaster Pro 2. The reason that's so sick is because you can apply compression, EQ, and any other post audio effects to all the audio. It's so sick. And I don't know why OBS just stops receiving it for some reason, but you can restart it. And that's what I just did. So now we should be good to continue on from here.
So on the compute side, yeah, this is like the biggest infrastructure project certainly that I've ever seen. Possibly.
I wrote this script. Now my audio is a bit loud. I'll just drop it down. It's going to be a bit loud for the time being. I'll just drop it down.
It will become I think it will. Maybe already is the biggest and most expensive one in human history. But the whole supply chain from making the chips and the memory and the networking gear, racking them up in servers, doing, a giant construction project to build like
it was a bit loud.
Mega
Now it's
data
better.
Center, putting finding a way to get the energy, which is often a limiting piece of this, and all the other components together. This is hugely complex and expensive, and we're still doing this in like a sort of bespoke one-off way, although it's getting better. Like eventually we will just design a whole kind of like mega factory that takes, spiritually it will be melting sand on one end and putting out fully built AI compute on the other.
Good timing. This is where we left off.
We're a long way to go from that. And
I'm not like some madman.
Complex and expensive process. We are putting a huge amount of work into building out as much compute as we can and to do it fast. And, it's going to be like sad because GPT-5 is going to launch and there's going to be another big spike in demand and we're not going to be able to serve it. And it's going to be like those early GPT-4 days. And the world just wants much more AI than we can currently deliver. And building more compute is an important part.
I'm not like some madman.
That's actually what I expect to turn the majority of my attention to, is how we build compute at much greater scales. So how we go from millions to tens of millions and hundreds of millions, and eventually, hopefully, billions of GPUs that are sort of in service of what people want to do with this.
When you're thinking about it, what are the big challenges here in this category that you're going to be thinking about?
We're currently most limited by energy. Like if you want to run a gigawatt scale data center, it's like a gigawatt. How hard can that be to find? It's really hard to find a gigawatt available in short term. We're also
Hendrik.
limited by the processing chips, memory chips, how you package these all together, the racks, and then there's like a list of other things that are, there's like permits, there's construction work. But again, the goal here will be to automate
That's a
once we get
Shiloh
some of those
move.
robots
Yes, it
built,
is.
They can help us automate it even more. But just, like a world where you can basically pour in money and get out a pre-built data center. So that'll be a huge unlock if we can get it to work. Second category,
This is
data.
sick.
Yeah.
This is sick.
These models have gotten so smart. There was a time when we could just feed it another physics textbook.
I love
and
that one.
Got a little bit smarter at
This
physics.
is
But
sick.
now, like, honestly, GPT-5 understands everything in a physics textbook pretty well. We're excited about synthetic data. We're very excited about our users helping us create harder and harder tasks and environments to go off and
Synthetic
have the
data.
system solve.
Interesting.
But I think data will always be important, but we're
Hey, Doug,
entering
you
a
seen,
realm where the
have you seen Charlotte around the traps? It's her birthday today. If you see her around, sling her a happy birthday.
models need to learn things that don't exist in any data set yet. They have to go discover new things. So that's like a crazy new
How
step.
do you teach a model to discover new things?
Well, humans can do it. Like we can go off and come up with hypotheses and test them and get experimental results and update on what we learn. So probably the same kind of way.
And then there's algorithmic design.
Yeah. We've made huge progress on.
I was going to say it's her
design.
birthday.
The
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that- The thing that I think OpenAI does best in the world is we have built this culture of repeated and
She's
big
probably having a dub somewhere.
algorithmic research gains. So we kind of, figured out what became the GPT paradigm. We figured out what became the reasoning paradigm. We're working on some new ones now. But it is very exciting to me to think that there are still many more orders of magnitudes of algorithmic gains ahead of us. We just
Delicious.
yesterday released a model called GPT-OSS, an open source model. It's a model that is as smart as O4 Mini, which is a very smart model that runs locally on a laptop. And this blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like,
There you go.
if you had asked me a few years ago when we would have a model of that intelligence running on a laptop, I would have said many, many years in the future. But then we found some algorithmic gains, particularly around reasoning, but also some other things. that let us
Algorithmic
do
gains.
A tiny
That's
model
cool.
that can do this amazing thing.
Band name.
And, those are the most fun things. That's like kind of the coolest part of the job.
I can see you really enjoying thinking about this. I'm curious for people who don't quite know.
She's hard to
what you're
catch, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's having a dubs at the Flying Horse. The Flying Horse. Okay.
talking about, who aren't familiar with how an algorithmic design
Yeah.
would lead to a better experience that they actually use. Could you summarize the state of things right now? Like what is it that you're thinking about when you're thinking about how fun this problem is?
Let me start back in history and then I'll get to some things from
Please.
today. So
Flosky, the local stuff is more likely to hallucinate because the data sets are much smaller. Yes. Smaller data sets leading to phony or unbelievingly incorrect results.
GPT-1 was
Raise your glass to
An
Charlotte.
idea.
Fair call. Happy birthday, Charlotte. Cheers, everybody. If you have a beverage or if you're just there hanging out, cheers to Charlotte for her 21st birthday.
at the time that was quite mocked by a lot of experts in the field, which was, can we train a model to play a little game, which is show it a bunch of words and have it guess the one that comes next in the sequence. That's called unsupervised learning. You're not really saying like, this is a cat, this is a dog. You're just saying, here's some words, guess the next one. And the fact that that can go learn these very complicated concepts, that can go learn all the stuff about physics and math and programming and keep predicting the word that comes next and next and next and next, seemed ludicrous, magical, unlikely to work. Like, how was that all going to get encoded? And yet humans do it. Babies start hearing language and figure out what it means kind of largely.
Yeah.
Or at least to some significant degree,
Yes.
on their own. And so we did it. And then we also realized that if we scaled it up, it got better and better. But we had to scale over many, many orders of magnitude. So it wasn't that good in the GPT-1 day. It wasn't good at all in the GPT-1 days. And a lot of experts in the field said, oh, this is ridiculous. It's never going to work. It's not going to be robust. But we had these things called scaling laws. And we said, okay, so this gets predictably better as we increase compute, memory, data, whatever. And we can decide, we can use those predictions to make decisions about how to scale.
Your birthday is coming up too, Ben. Yes, Hendrik, and then yours too. Yes, it is. Reluctantly, yep, I'm hitting the 51 today. 50, no, the 50, not the 50, the 51. I didn't mean 51st, I meant the 50th one.
And get great results. And that has worked over, a crazy number of orders of magnitude. And it was so not obvious at the time. Like that was, I think the reason the world was so surprised is that seemed like such an unlikely finding. Another one was that we could use these language models with reinforcement learning, where we're saying, this is good, this is bad, to teach it how to reason. Mm-hmm. And this led to the 01 and 03 and now the GPT-5 progress. Mm-hmm. And that was another thing that felt like, if it works, it's really great, but like, no way this is going to work. It's too simple. And now we're on to new things. We've figured out how to make much better video models.
No, you haven't.
We are discovering new ways to use new kinds of data and environment to kind of scale that up as well. And I think, again, 5-10 years out, that's too hard to say in this field. But the next couple of years, we have very smooth, very strong scaling in front of us.
I think it has become a sort of public narrative that we are on this smooth path from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to more.
Yeah.
But it also is true behind the scenes that it's not linear like that. It's messier. Tell us a little bit about the mess before GPT-5. What were the interesting problems that you needed to solve?
We did a model called Orion that we released as GPT 4.5, and we did too big of a model. It's a very cool model, but it's unwieldy to use. And we realized that for kind of some of the research we need to do on top of a model, we need a different shape. So we followed one scaling law that kept being good without really internalizing it. There was a new, even steeper scaling law that we got better returns for compute on, which was this reasoning thing. So that was like one alley we went down and turned around, but that's fine. That's part of research. We had some problems with the way we think about our data sets, as these models like really have to get this big and learn from this much data. So yeah, I think like in the middle of it, in the day-to-day, you make a lot of U-turns as you try things, or you have an architecture idea that doesn't work. But the aggregate, the summation of all the squiggles has been remarkably smooth on the exponential.
One of the things I always find interesting is that by the time I'm sitting here interviewing you about the thing that you just put out, you're thinking about the next.
Forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are the things that you can share that are at least the problems that you're thinking about that I would be interviewing you about in a year if I came back?
Wow. Interesting. Did he sign an NDA? You can't tell us.
I mean, possibly you'll be asking me like, what does it mean that this thing can go discover new science?
Yeah.
Like, how is the world supposed to think about GPT-6 discovering new science? Now, maybe not. Like maybe we don't deliver that, but it feels within grasp.
If you did, what would you say? What would the implications of that kind of achievement be? Imagine you do succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the great parts will be great, the bad parts will be scary, and the bizarre parts will be like bizarre on the first day, and then we'll get used to them really fast. So we'll be like, oh, it's incredible that this is like being used to cure disease. And be like, oh, it's extremely scary that models like this are being used to like create new biosecurity threats. And then we'll also be like, man, it's really weird to like live through watching the world speed up so much. And, the economy grows so fast, and it will feel like vertigo inducing, the rate of change. And then, like happens with everything else, the remarkable ability of people, of humanity, to adapt to kind of like any amount of change. We'll just be like, okay, this is it. A kid born today will never be smarter than AI. Ever. And a kid born today, by the time that kid like kind of understands the way the world works, will just always be used to an incredibly fast rate of things improving and discovering new science. They will never know any other world. It will seem totally natural. It will seem unthinkable and Stone Age like that we used to use computers or phones or any kind of technology that was not way smarter than we were. You know, we will think like how bad those people of the 2020s had it.
I'm thinking about having kids.
You should. It's the best thing ever.
I know you just had your first kid. How does what you just said affect how I should think about parenting a kid in that world? What advice would you give me?
Probably nothing different than the way we've been parenting kids for tens of thousands of years. Like, love your kids, show them the world, like support them in whatever they want to do, and teach them like how to be a good person. And that probably is what's going to matter.
It sounds a little bit like some of the, you know, you've said a couple of things like this that you know, you might not go to college. You might, there are a couple of things that you've said so far that feed into this, I think. And it sounds like what you're saying is there will be more optionality for them in a world that.
Flosky, I feel like a billionaire's advice is a little detached for the rest of us. So you're saying that we should take what he says lightly because he's a billionaire? Hendrik, I'm a good reason to not have kids. Wow, that's harsh, man. Self-sledging. Come on, dude. Calm down, dude. You're not that bad. I'm a reason not to have kids. That's harsh, man.
And therefore, they will have more ability to say, I want to build this. Here's the superpowered tool that will help me do that. Or
yeah, like I want my kid to think I had a terrible constrained life and that he has this incredible infinite canvas of stuff.
Oh, he has no reason to concern for the future for his kids. Not so simple for poor people. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So when you have less money, your struggle is more real, whereas money can just buy happiness and buy anything. And people that say money doesn't buy happiness, they're not living on the same planet we all are, right? Of course money buys happiness. That's the reason money exists, to buy better things, to buy a better life. Of course it does. You think money doesn't buy happiness? Go tell that to the single mum who has to work 3 jobs to put her kid through school, when if she had money, she could not work those 3 jobs and then still be able to spend time with her child and raise them like a parent should, instead of having to put them in daycare. You're telling me that doesn't, like, money buys happiness. Like, let's stop this ruse.
That is like the way of the world.
we've said that 2035 is a little bit too far in the future to think about. So maybe this was going to be a jump to 2040, but maybe it will keep it shorter than that. When I think about the area,
I think she's relying too heavily on this. Let's time travel for this interview. What's wrong with living in 2025? You're here to ask him about Chat GPT-5. Why are you so concerned about 2035? Like, we're here right now. Like, ask him about the thing that's happening right now.
Where AI could have, for both our kids and us, the biggest genuinely positive impact on all of us, it's health. So if we are in, pick your year, call it 2035, and I'm sitting here and I'm interviewing the Dean of Stanford Medicine, what do you hope that he's telling me AI is doing for our health in 2035?
Start with 2025.
Okay.
Good on you, Sam. Yes. Bring it back to today. This is, what is it? 38 minutes into this interview and he's finally tripped up. He's like, why you keep asking me about the future? Let's talk about what's happening right now. Someone's got to put comments like that in the comments. Like, I'm asking this comment in the year 2035. This guy is fantastic at talking without answering questions or saying anything valuable. This comment section didn't disappoint. Good to be skeptical of Sam. I kind of want to put a comment there saying I'm asking this question in 2035.
Things we are most proud of with GPT-5 is how much better it's gotten at health advice. People have used the GPT-4 models a lot for health advice.
I did.
And
I used it for that.
I'm sure you've seen some of these things on the internet where people are like, oh, I had this life-threatening disease and no doctor could figure it out. And I like put my symptoms and a blood test into Chat GPT. It told me exactly the rare thing I had. I went to a doctor. I took a pill. I'm cured. Like, that's amazing, obviously.
That is amazing.
And a huge fraction of...
Wait, has that actually happened though? He just kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. That was perfect timing too. Has that happened? Has someone done that with ChatGPT? They put in their blood results and they got a diagnosis. They went to the doctor, got a pill. He kind of brushed past that. That's pretty big. That's major, actually.
ChatGPT queries are health related, so we wanted to get really good at this, and we invested a lot. And GPT-5 is...
I read an AI generated news story about it. I don't know you, Flo, from I know you from my streams, and I've sent sand to you, but I know that that's sarcasm, and I like the angle there. Well done.
Better at healthcare
Good timing.
related queries.
What does better mean here?
It gives you a better answer.
Just more accurate?
More accurate, hallucinates less, more likely to like tell you what you actually have, what you actually should do. Yeah. And better healthcare is wonderful, but obviously what people actually want is to just not have disease. And by 2035, I think we will be able to use these tools to cure a significant number, or at least treat a significant...
You know what's going on right now? See, look, this is from a podcasting point of view. Look at Sam Altman's posture. How far away from that SM7 he is. The production crew is like, fuck, can we just go in there and get him to move closer to the mic? He's too far back. So what they've done is they've ramped up the gain, and what you can hear if you listen, you idiots, like listen real closely, you can hear the noise gate cutting in and out because they've ramped it up so far because he's so far off mic. They don't want to interrupt the billionaire because he's talking about stuff, but someone should have come in and gone, hey guys, Sam, you're going to have to move closer. You got to get up on that mic, dude. You can't be sitting way back here. Otherwise, we've got to ramp that gain up. Listen to this. Go back about 5 seconds and just turn it right up. I will hear, and listen to the noise gate.
Better healthcare is wonderful, but obviously what people actually want is to just not have disease. And by 2035, I think we will be able to use these tools.
What I'm specifically saying, or what I'm specifically pointing at, is when he doesn't speak, the noise gate closes, so it's dead silent. Then when he talks, it opens, and there's always a little bit of there's a bit of a gap between when the noise gate actuates and when he speaks. So you crop the tail of the beginning and the tail of the end of his conversation off, and you hear, when he's talking, you hear background hum. When he's not talking, it's completely silent.
Obviously what people actually want is to just not have disease. And by 2035, I think we will be able to use these tools to cure a significant...
And this wasn't happening earlier in the interview because he was up on mic, but because she's asked him so many questions about the future and he's a bit jack of it, he's just kind of sat back going, I just sat over here, I'm over it. I think this interview's too long, and I think she's asking too many questions about the future. She should be stuck in 2025 where we are. Flosky, they have those giant articulating arms. He could have pulled it with him too. Yeah, Trusky. I'd probably hear it if I had headphones on. I'm listening on my big TV. Yeah, can't hear it. But if you put Kansas on, you'd hear it clearly as anything.
Number, or at least treat a significant number of diseases that currently plague us. I think that'll be one of the most...
I'm a perfectionist, so I hear that stuff, and I hear it clear as anything. And I've got cans on as well. But
felt benefits of AI.
People talk a lot about how AI will revolutionize healthcare, but I'm curious to go one turn deeper on specifically what you're imagining. Like, is it that these AI systems could have helped us see GLP-1s earlier, this medication that has been around for a long time?
There you go. You see and hear all those flaws in your own content. Yeah, it drives me nuts, dude. When I watch back my streams, I'm like, what? How did I not see? Like when you said about the doubling up of audio, I could see that in OBS, that there was 2 audio sources. I was like, I don't think the stream can see that though. They don't hear that. When you said it, I was like, of course they do. If it's visual there, they're hearing it. I'm the same, dude. Like, come on, man. You got this Rodecaster Pro 2. Set it up correctly, man. There's a way to do it. Do it right.
But we didn't know about this other effect. Is it that, AlphaFold and protein folding is helping create new medicines?
I
what
would
are
like
the
to be able to
vignettes
ask
here? Yeah.
GPT-8 to go cure a particular
Did
cancer.
you just hear that? He talked over her. He's over this. He's, like I said, this is too long, and he knows it as well. He's well and truly done. He talks over her. He cut her off.
Protein folding is helping create new medicines.
I
Like,
would
what are
like
the
to be able to
vignettes
ask.
here?
Look at him. He's done that several times since the beginning. Has he? I didn't really notice it at the beginning. I got to be honest. I'm not really enjoying this. I don't know if it's her questioning her angle, but I'm not really enjoying this interview. I wanted him to just tell us the guts of GPT-5 and what we can do with it, but that she's talking so far into the future, and she's talking. It's more like she's interviewing him about the concept of AI, not about GPT-5, what it can do. She's just talking in like, how good is AI and what's it going to do in 20 years' time? No, ask him about the shit that's popping off right now. Dugsky, is he even looking at her? I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's probably over it. Some of her earlier questions were good, really good, but yeah, she's fixated on that angle. Yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, I feel like this could have been condensed to like a half an hour video and cut out all these kind of awkward interactions.
AlphaFold and protein folding is helping create new medicines.
I
Like, what
would
are
like
the
to be able to
vignettes here?
ask
Yeah.
GPT-8 to go cure a particular cancer. And I would like GPT-8 to go off and think and then say, okay, I read everything I could find. I have these ideas. I need you to go get a lab technician to run these 9 experiments and tell me what you find for
He's
each of
talking
them.
about-
And, wait.
Now they're talking about Chat GPT-8. They just launched 5. It's like getting Tim Cook of Apple saying, imagine Tim Cook agreed to an interview, which he very, very seldom does. But imagine he did. He agreed to go on Larry King. That guy's dead. He agreed to go somewhere and talk about the latest iPhone 16. And I imagine the interviewer was like, oh, the 16 is out. How do you see the iPhone at 25, the iPhone 25? What do you see from that? How do you think that's going to play out? Do you think the iPhone 25 will do this? And Tim Cook's looking down going, I've got the 16 here, which we just released. Do you not want to talk about that? Or do you want to just continue? I heard iPhones are great and iPhones are going to be able to do this. Yeah, they are great. We've got the 16 here. We can talk about that. No. The concept of the phone. We'll talk about the 25. What? Futuristic conversation. Just talk about what's happening right now. Imagine him on Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what Arsenio Hall is.
2 months for the cells to do their thing. Send the results back to GPT-8. Say, I tried that. Here you go. Think. Say, okay, I just need one more experiment. That was a surprise. Run one more experiment. Give it back. GPT-8 says, okay, go synthesize this molecule.
More beer will help.
And try, mouse studies or whatever. Okay, that was good. Like, try human studies. Okay, great. It worked. Here's how to run it through the FDA.
Sorry, I'm on a tangent here, and I feel like this is either funny or really dumb. But imagine someone interviewing a band, and the interviewer's like, "So your album, let's give it a phony name, Homebrew Bottle. Your album Homebrew Bottle came out this year, and you're touring on it. How's that going?" It's going great. And then the interviewer cuts in and goes, "So in about 4 albums' time, how do you see your sound? Do you think you'll have more of a developed sound 4 albums from now?" And the band guy's going, "Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll probably develop our sound. Yeah, I'm not sure where it'll go, but we've got Homebrew Bottle just came out yesterday and we're touring on it." And so the concept of music and you guys joining forces and playing music together, how do you see that playing out over 10 years? Yeah, we'll still be a band. We're playing and we're touring. In fact, we're playing tonight on the back of this album. So your album just came out. Do you think that you might have implemented a different producer if you could go forward into maybe 4 more albums' time? Who do you think will produce the album? That's what she's doing. She's not giving him time to explain the thing that just dropped. Instead, she's just waffling on about the concept, and she's stretching it out into the future. And I'm so over it. Like I'm over this interview. I wanted to learn about this tech, and I wanted to learn about how rad it is, but the way that this has gone, it's just tedious. You're right. They barely said a word about GPT-5. Right? So stupid.
I think anyone with a loved one who's died of cancer would also really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump again.
Okay.
Stop fucking jumping. You're in 2025. We're going to jump to the future. Here she goes again. How far out do you think she's going to go? 5 years, 10 years? Let's say Chat GPT-12. Will there be sentience? I bet she says the word sentience. I bet she does. That's a nice hoodie you got on, Giz. What hoodie will you have on Thursday week? Kind of that. Yeah, I don't have a hoodie on, but I feel you. I feel you, Doug.
Who's died of cancer
Watch
would
this.
also
Watch
really
this.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump again.
Okay.
I was going to say 2050, but again, all of my timelines are getting much, much shorter.
Why do you have timelines? You're not Marty McFly. You're not in a DeLorean. You've got half an hour to interview Sam Altman, and all you're doing is talking about projections into the future. Ask him about something that's happening to him today. What a strange concept.
But
It does feel like the world's going very fast now.
It does. Yeah. And
He cut him off again. He cut her off. By the way, there might be alcohol in this homebrew. I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say 2050, but again, all of my timelines are getting much, much shorter. But
It does feel like the world's going very fast now.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's like,
when
I'm here for an interview about Chat GPT-5, and we're talking 20 years into the future about what we're going to do then. That's why the world's going fast, Sam. Slow it down.
But
It does feel like the world's going very fast now.
It does. Yeah. And when I talk to
Flosky, the more you point this out, the more it's becoming unwatchable. That's what, I saw it from the beginning. I saw this from the beginning. I was like, okay, we're here. We've got the guy. Let's ask him the questions. She didn't, at the very beginning, she didn't even ask him the simplest question about like, so what's different in 5 verse 4? She didn't even do that. Like she's blowing this. This is a bad interview. Bad interview.
It does feel like the world's going very fast now.
It does. Yeah. And when I talk to other leaders in AI, one of the things that they refer to is the Industrial Revolution. They say, I chose 2050 because I've heard people talk about how by then the change that we will have gone through will be like the Industrial Revolution, but, quote, 10 times bigger and 10 times faster.
Okay.
The Industrial Revolution gave us modern medicine and sanitation and transportation and mass production and all of the conveniences that we now take for granted. It also was incredibly difficult for a lot of people for about 100 years. If this is going to be 10 times bigger and 10 times faster, if we keep reducing the timelines that we're talking about here, even in this conversation.
Try reducing them all the way down to today. That'd be a good start. If you could reduce those timelines and just make it about 2025, considering that's the year we live in, that'd be pretty good. Pretty good. By the way, Sam Altman's just released Chat GPT-5. Maybe you want to talk about that? No, we'll keep going into the future.
What does that actually feel like for most people? And I think what I'm trying to get at is if this all goes the way you hope, who still gets hurt in the meantime?
We're not. Did you see the way she's like, who still gets hurt? We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Chat GPT-5. How about the year 3026 where we see Chat GPT v900? I don't know. I don't know this woman. I've never seen her content before, but I never want to see it again.
Hope. Who still gets hurt in the meantime?
We do, having to watch tedious interviews like this.
I don't really know what this is going to feel like to live through. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How about we round the questions back to the tech that you've just released to the world?
We're in uncharted waters here. I do believe in like human adaptability and sort of infinite creativity and desire for stuff. And I think we always do figure out new things to do. But the transition period, if this happens as fast as it might, and I don't think it will happen as fast as like some of my colleagues say the technology will, but society has like a lot of inertia.
Mm-hmm.
People adapt their way of living surprisingly slowly. There are classes of jobs that are going to totally.
He has to get on mic again. He can't be sitting back like that. The production team are like, fuck. If only they could just cut it for a second and get him to move closer to the mic or move the mic closer to him. Let's move on and look at what GPT Agent can do. This is insane stuff. I kind of want to see this play out. We're invested now, H man. Thanks for the follow, whoever that was. I kind of want to join Rothschild Discord 1. That was the handle. Join Rothschild Discord. No. How about this? This person followed my stream with the handle join Rothschild Discord with the number 1. I've got the mic right now. I'm holding the conch, so I'll tell you, don't join Rothschild Discord 1. Don't. I'm the one telling you, do not do that. Don't do that. If they extend his mic arm so it's less symmetrical, Hendrik will flip his lid. As the architect, Hendrik will be like, no, it's symmetrical. You know what it looks like? Kind of like a Weezer. Looks like the W for the Weezer albums. Kind of. I don't know. Use your imaginations.
Go away. And there will be many classes of jobs that change significantly, and then there'll be the new things in the same way that your job didn't exist some time ago, neither did mine. And in some sense, this has been going on for a long time, and it's still disruptive to individuals, but society has proven quite resilient to this.
My lid is firmly flipped,
like,
H-Man.
We have no idea how far or fast this could go, and thus...
Yeah, right, Dogsky. Thanks, Flo. Now I can't stop seeing it.
An unusual degree of humility and openness to considering new solutions that would have seemed way out of the Overton window not too long ago.
I'd like to talk about what some of those could be, because I'm not a historian by any means, but the first industrial revolution, my understanding is, led to a lot of public health implementations because public health got so bad. Led to modern sanitation.
I don't know this guy, but I reckon he's looking at her going, at any point in this interview, are you going to ask me about the GPT-5 that just got dumped? Are you going to ask me about that? Is that coming at any point? She's just doing everything she can to talk about the future, the past. She's got the future, the past, the far future, the very distant past, but she's not really interested in the current, which is odd because she's interviewing the guy who's just dropped a version update to arguably the biggest AI.
Because public health got so bad. The second industrial revolution led to...
What are you talking
workforce
about?
Protections because labor conditions got so bad. Every big leap creates a mess, and that mess needs to be cleaned up. And we've done that. And I'm curious...
The mess is this interview. This is one almighty mess.
This is going to be, it sounds like, we're in the middle of this enormous leap.
Yeah.
How specific can we get as early as possible about what that mess can be? What are the public interventions that we could do ahead of time to reduce the mess that we
She's more interested in talking about AI as a concept than the actual product, which is she's so off target here.
That we're headed for.
I would...
And I reckon he's been bamboozled here. I reckon he's like, this is not what I'm here for. I'm not here to discuss the pros and cons of AI as a concept. I'm here to discuss GPT-5. Can we not talk about that? Like, he's being polite about it, but he looks like he's flustered. He looks like he's like, fuck, come on, man. Really? His body language, he's leaning back, he's over it. He just wants to talk about the product, and she's waffling on with this garbage.
I'm going to speculate for fun, but caveated
you're not
by
a wizard.
I'm not an economist even.
This is when, if I was him, this is when I'd be looking to my publicist and I'd be like, do we have to go? We have to go, right? And that'd be the key. Like, oh yeah, we got to go. Sorry, we have to wrap this up. We got to go.
Much less someone who can see the future. It seems to me like something fundamental about the social contract may have to change. It may not. It may be that like actually capitalism works as it's been working surprisingly well.
Are we talking about capitalism right now?
Demand supply balances do their thing, and we all just figure out kind of new jobs and new ways to transfer value to each other. But it seems to me likely that we will decide.
She needs to go back and look at a title. Yeah, I guess, I mean, in many ways I could be completely off target here, but the title of this video is Sam Altman shows me GPT-5 and what's next. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm expecting too much from this. I genuinely thought that he'd be here to talk about the new product, but is her chair raised higher than his, so she's looking down on her? Is her chair raised higher than his, so she is looking down on him? I don't know. I mean, that would be gameplay, but
need to think
Flowski, there's too
about
much emphasis on what next.
how access to this maybe most important resource of the future gets shared. The best thing that it seems to me to do is to make
If her chair's higher, it's only slightly higher, but I don't think that's Look, my point here is we've got the dude who gave us ChatGPT. He's released a big update. She's got the floor with him, and she's not asking him about it. She's asking all this waffle for an hour now. All the future. Look at this kick. Look at this kick shit. Let's just ban that. Hey, thanks. Whoever. Oh, Botrix did that. Nice. Thanks, Botrix. Yeah. Aside from that trolling on Kick, so she's got the chance to talk to this guy about Chat GPT-5, and she's done everything she possibly can to not talk about it. It's so strange. It's such a strange interview. She's very, very awkward about her questioning. I think he's over it. I think he was over it like 20 minutes ago, and yet she's dragging it out. And it just seems like she had a chance to ask him about the product, and she hasn't done that. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's a very, very difficult interview to watch.
I compute as abundant and cheap as possible, such that we're just like, there's way too much and we run out of like good new ideas to really use it for. And it's just like anything you want is happening. Without that, I can see like quite literal wars being fought over it. But, you know, new ideas about how we distribute access to AGI compute, that seems like a really great direction, like a crazy but important thing to think about.
One of the things that I find myself thinking about in this conversation is
The future?
we often ascribe almost full responsibility of the AI future that we've been talking about to the companies building AI. But we're the ones using it. We're the ones electing people that will regulate it.
Yep.
And so I'm curious.
How does that look in the
This is not
future?
a question about specific, federal regulation or anything like that, although if you have an answer there, I'm curious. But what would you ask of the rest of us? What is the shared responsibility here, and how can we act in a way that would help make the optimistic version of this more possible?
That's a fair
My
question.
favorite
So
historical-
I'll hand it to her there. That's a solid question. She's hit that one. That's a good question.
example for the AI revolution is the transistor. It was this amazing piece of science that some brilliant scientists discovered. It scaled incredibly.
Thanks,
like
H-Man.
AI does.
Thanks, dude.
And it made its way relatively quickly into many things that we use.
Yeah, just what happened there was a troll coming into the Kick chat. We got Mr. Beast on Kick right now, and we're streaming on Kick, so there's going to be a lot of dickheads coming through. Thank you, Hendrik, for banning that person. I banned those other two as well before, but thank you, man.
Your computer.
Yeah,
phone,
Flowski, I heard future and tuned out the rest of a question.
late, whatever. And it was a real unlock for the tech tree of humanity. And there were a period in time where probably everybody was really obsessed with the transistor companies, the semiconductors of Silicon Valley back when it was Silicon Valley. But now you can maybe
Look at
name a
that
couple
slouch. Did you see that? Look at this. Wait for
Valley
this.
back when it was Silicon Valley. But now
That picture there, that frame grab. Look how slashed over he is. Dugski's got a point. She's definitely above him, like looking down on him. He looks deflated. He looks deflated here. Look how far off mark he is. Yeah, this is a horrible interview. I could do much better.
you can maybe name a couple of companies that are.
You know what she
transistor-
should have done? She should have started the interview with like, so I've been using ChatGPT for about a year now, and I've had X amount of success, and I've had X amount of failures. My failures were this, my successes were this. How is your update to GPT-5 going to change that? In specific, I've got a requirement here. I asked it this, and I got this return. I'd use the example of creating a YouTube thumbnail at 1280 by 720, less than 2 meg. None of those AIs, including ChatGPT, seem to be able to do that. Will ChatGPT-5 be able to generate me a thumbnail in the specific pixel dimensions that I've requested under a certain file size? Will that happen or will that not happen? That would be a good leading question for him to then say, well, yeah, in GPT-5, we've done this and this and this, and after training our model to do this, we now worked out how to do. Instead, she's like, AI seems like it's changing the world. How do you see that occurring in 10 years from now? Will we still be using AI, or will there be jobs that take over? You didn't even go for the actual content. You went straight into this fanciful world of the future. Like, you're not there for that. You're there to ask him about the product. So strange.
Companies, but mostly you don't think about it. Mostly it's just seeped everywhere. And Silicon Valley is, like probably someone graduating from college barely remembers why it was called that in the first place. And you don't think that it was those transistor companies that shaped society, even though they did something important. You think about
this guy Sam Altman. He does have a record of being good on camera, right? Like he's bad here, but he's been given a lousy lead. He's just following along, but he's decent, right? I've never seen his content before. He can hold like a press conference or an interview. He can nail that, right? Like, this is terrible because of her line of questioning, and he's just playing along with it, I think.
People did with the iPhone, and then you think about what TikTok built on top of the iPhone, and you're like, all right, here's this long chain of all these people that nudged society in some way, and what our governments did or didn't do, and what the people using these technologies did. And I think that's what will happen with AI. Like, kids born today, they never knew the world without AI. So they don't really think about it. It's just this thing that's going to be there in everything. And they will think about like the companies that built on it and what they did with it, and the kind of like political leaders, the decisions they made that maybe they wouldn't have been able to do without AI, but they will still think about like what this president or that president did. And
the noise gate's killing me.
The role of the AI companies is all these companies and people and institutions before us built up this scaffolding. We added our one layer on top. And now people get to stand on top of that and add their one layer and the next and many more things. And that is the beauty of our society. We kind of all...
I've got to take a slash. I'm still listening. And if anything cool pops up, you'll hear me screaming from the bathroom. Flosky, maybe because the whole anger trigger bait content of YouTube reward. Okay, maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe. But then again, if that was the case, the title of this video would be... Chat GPT-5, the future is so frightening, or something like that, and they'd be like, her thumbnail would be like exclamation. I'm still listening.
I love this like idea that society is the super intelligence. Like no one person could do on their own what they're able to do with all of the really hard work that society has done together to like give you this amazing set of tools. And that's what I think it's going to feel like. It's going to be like, all right, some nerds discovered this thing and that was great. And, now everybody's doing all these amazing things with it.
So maybe the ask to millions of people is build on it well.
In my own life, that is what I feel as like this important societal contract. All these people came before you. They worked incredibly hard. They like put their brick in the path of human progress, and you get to walk all the way down that path, and you got to put one more. And somebody else does that, and somebody else does that.
This does feel, I've done a couple of interviews with folks who have really made cataclysmic
I can't wait
change.
to watch those.
The one I'm thinking about right now is with CRISPR pioneer Jennifer Doudna. And it did feel like that was also what she was saying in some way. She had discovered something that really might change the way that most people relate to their health moving forward. And there will be a lot of people that will use what she has done in ways that she might approve of or not approve of. And it was really interesting. I'm hearing some similar themes of like, man, I hope that the next person takes the baton and runs with it well.
Yeah. But that's been working for a long time. Not all good, but
She just went off with this absolute epic tangent, and he just goes, "Yep." I wish that had just cut right there.
Man, I hope that the next person takes the baton and runs with it well.
Yeah. But that's been working for a long time. Not all
awesome.
good, but mostly good.
I think that
I love how dismissive that answer was. Yep, and then just cut it right there.
Yeah. But that's been working for a long time. Not all good, but mostly good.
I think there's a big difference between
Look at him. Look at his eyes. So there's this. Funnily enough, man, this interview's been edited, right? Like they've cut this down. Some of the stuff they left in is baffling, but watch where his eyes are when it cuts after this after this answer, it cuts and then focus on his body posture and where he's looking. Watch this.
Not all good, but mostly good.
I think there's a big difference between
What
winning.
he's looking like he's looking at the microphone stand.
All good, but mostly good.
I think
Is he trying to look at her papers? Right there. Is he looking at her papers and he's like, how many more questions about the future have we got here? He's definitely looking towards his angle of line, like his angle of line of his line of sight is angled towards her papers. He's like scanning down thinking, this must be over soon, right? Surely this person can't torment me any further. We must be getting near the end. That's what I'm thinking too, by the way.
there's a big difference between.
And he didn't look at her at all. He's like just looking at that paper going, fuck, can I see any keywords on this paper? This has to be one of the worst interviews I've ever seen. I thought Elon Musk was horrible to watch in interviews. This is the pinnacle of YouTube. You're getting absolutely jack shit from this interview. Yet it goes on for an hour and 5 minutes, and you're not getting anything out of it. Nothing tangible comes from this.
Okay. Not all good, but mostly good.
I think there's a big difference between winning the race and building the AI future that would be best for the most people. And I can imagine that it is easier, maybe more quantifiable sometimes to
You think he's asking someone to call his phone? Doug, can someone ring my phone? Oh, I've got to take this. I've got to leave. A second plane hit the tower. We've got to go. Flosky, totally her fault. He's probably waiting to get on to go CEO marketing. And dude, his PR team must be there going, like, wrap this up, right? Like, get to the end here. You got to ask the big questions. We got to go. They must have allocated 1 hour, and she said, if you give me 1 hour, I'm taking the whole hour. I want to talk about the future. I need to talk to you about the future. On the night I go back in time, I got to talk to you about the future. It's like Marty McFly. It's too good. Musk has lost it lately. The ketamine really got to him. Yeah, he's not looking good in interviews, is he?
Imagine that it is easier, maybe more quantifiable sometimes to focus on the next way to win the race. And I'm curious, when those two things are at odds, what is an example?
Did you see? I'm sorry to keep doing this, but watch his eye angle. Watch where he looks when she goes on for this. When she waffles this question out of thin air, making word salad. Watch where his eyes go. They go away from her, and he's looking into the distance. He's probably thinking, "What am I going to do for dinner tonight? Maybe I could go to that cool restaurant." Yeah. He's not interested in this. Watch this. Watch his eyes.
And I can imagine that
They're focused on her right now, and watch this. See my mouse here? You focus on his eyeballs. When she starts waffling this question.
it is easier, maybe more quantifiable sometimes to focus on the next way to win the race.
Looking away from her.
And I'm curious, when those two things are at odds, what is an example of a decision that you've had to make that is best for the world, but not best for winning?
I think there are a lot. So one of the things that we are most
Am I the only one that thinks this is just? Maybe it's the homebrew. Maybe it's the alcohol in this homebrew. But this is the dumbest interview I've ever seen. Read the Sports Almanac. I got it from Beer Fright On. If I was him, I'd zone out and say, "Huh? Did you say something?" It's entertaining. I mean, that's what YouTube's meant to be, I guess, entertainment. I'm entertained by this, but I'm not learning anything at all.
proud of is many people say that ChatGPT is their favorite piece of technology ever, and that it's the one that they
Sorry.
trust the most
I am
reliably.
learning something. I'm learning how not to conduct an interview. I'm learning how not to spend an hour with a billionaire CEO and waffle on and on when you could be asking questions about the product that he's releasing today.
Most whatever. And this is a little bit of a ridiculous statement because AI is the thing that hallucinates. AI has all of these problems, right? But we have screwed some things up along the way, sometimes big time. But on the whole, I think as a user of ChatGPT, you get the feeling that like it's trying to help you. It's trying to like help you accomplish whatever you ask. It's very aligned with you. It's not trying to get you to like, use it all day. It's not trying to like get you to buy something. It's trying to like kind of help you accomplish whatever your goals are. And that's like a very special relationship we have with our users. We do not take it lightly. There's a lot of things we could do that would like grow faster, that would get more time in ChatGPT, that we don't do because we know that like our long-term incentive is to stay as aligned with our users as possible. But there's a lot of short-term stuff we could do that would like really like juice growth or revenue or whatever and be very misaligned with that long-term goal. And I'm proud of the company and how little we get distracted by that, but sometimes we do get tempted.
Are there specific examples that come to mind? Any like decisions that you've made?
Any decisions in the future you're thinking about doing?
Well, we haven't put a sex bot avatar in ChatGPT yet.
That does seem like it would get time spent.
Apparently it does.
I'm going to ask my next question.
Wow.
It's been a really crazy few
That
years.
was that was an awkward exchange. So a sex bot AI, I mean, let's be real. The sex industry would revolutionize it. Anything it touches, it revolutionizes, right? Like arguably that's where VHS came from. That's where DVD came from. All these things stem from the sex industry. So that as much as these guys are doing AI, if they don't tap into that, they're kind of losing it, right? They're losing that race. That was a pretty interesting question, but then, or no one even asked the question, it just popped up. But then suddenly, as soon as that popped up, it was just, let's go back to the future. That was a direct reference to Musk. Okay. Flosky, why would they want more time spent if most people use it for free and cost them GPU and power? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't pay for it. I use the free version. I don't know how taxing that is. Are they making revenue off people buying the subscriptions, or is the free version enough? For my use case, the free version seems to be enough. But then again, I do dip into other ones as well, like DeepSeek and Copilot and Gemini and whatnot.
And somehow one of the things that keeps coming back is that it feels like we're in the first inning.
Yeah.
And one of the things that
I would say we're out of the first inning.
Out of the first inning.
I would say.
Second inning.
I mean, you have GPT-5 on your phone and it's like smarter than experts in every field. That's got to be out of the first inning.
But maybe there are many more.
That's your cue, girl. He just mentioned the product name. He just said you have GPT-5. That's when you have to trigger and go, oh yeah, we're here to talk about your latest product. She should have brought it back and said, so yeah, tell me about the GPT-5. That's the key. He gave you the in.
Smarter than experts in every field. That's got to be out of the first inning.
But maybe there are many more to come.
Yeah.
You know what she just did? She just went. He just said the product name, and she went, yeah. I know, but there's more to come. Ask him about the fucking product he's just released. He used the product name in his answer. He gave you he dipped the carrot over your nose. All you had to do was bite it. And she went, oh yeah, but what about before? What about later on? What's coming later? Watch this.
Things that
I would say we're out of the first inning.
Out of the first inning.
I would say.
Second inning.
I mean, you have GPT-5 on your phone and it's like smarter than experts in every field. That's got to be out of the first inning.
But maybe there are many more to come.
Yeah.
Maybe there's many more to come. No. I'm giving you my time to talk about GPT-5. Why don't you ask me about that? Instead, you're talking about what's going to come. This whole interview, she's just been harping on about the future. Talk about fucking 2025 and Chat GPT-5, which has just dropped. Man, how to blow an interview. How to blow an interview royally. This woman's just, what's her name again? Cleo Abram. Oh, okay. She must be doing something right. She's got 6.3 million subs. I mean, she's a pretty woman, but she's got a lot of subs. But man, this is deplorable.
Yes. It seems like you're going to be someone who is leading the next few. What is a learning from?
She's off script here. She's making this up on the fly. Hey, she's not reading her script. She's just going, oh, we're vibing here. I got these awesome questions, and she's like, yep, okay, I'm going to ask him this.
Maybe there are many more to come.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. It seems like you're going to be someone who is leading the next few. What is a way, what is a learning from inning 1 or 2 or a mistake that you made that you feel will affect how you play in the next?
I think the worst thing
He's,
we've
he's
done.
gone, are you serious? You're asking me to look back to what I've done wrong to how I can better the future, but I'm here to talk about what I've just released today. I'm here to talk about GPT-5, and you keep pushing it away from that. This is too good.
In ChatGPT so far is we had this issue with sycophancy, where the model was kind of being too flattering to users. And for some users, most users, it was just annoying. But for some users that had like fragile mental states, it was encouraging delusions. And that was not the top risk we were worried about. It was not the thing we were testing for the most. It was on our list. But the thing that actually became the safety failing of ChatGPT was not the one we were spending most of our time talking about, which would be bioweapons or something like that. And I think it was a great reminder of we now have a service that is so broadly used. In some sense, society is co-evolving with it. And when we think about these changes and we think about the unknown unknowns, we have to operate in a different way and have like a wider aperture to what we think about as our top risks.
In a recent interview with Theo Vaughn, you said something that I found really interesting. You said, there are moments in the history of science where you have a group of scientists look at their creation and just say, what have we done? When have you felt that way?
This is like when someone asks a question like this and they're referring back to a previous interview, what it actually means, or what it's telling the viewer, is that they don't actually have their own question. Instead, they want the subject to talk about something they've already talked about, possibly something that got a lot of views prior, right? Like she's like, well, I'm all out of questions, but here's a question I saw which seemed to get a good response, so I'll just re-ask it. Like Sam Altman would be totally within his right to say, I already answered that in that interview. If you want to see the answer, just go and watch that. Do you not have any questions of your own that you want to ask me? Like, can't we talk about, how about the product I just released today? That'd be pretty good. Like, we could do that. That's what I'm here for. Instead, she's just wasting epic time with this guy. In the chat, I won't read that, Charlie. I don't want to make this about that, but you can think that. Hendrik Grok on mobile has the anime companion that can act like a sex bot. Okay, all right. Grok. I've been using Grok to generate videos from images recently. It's kind of interesting. Flowski, you're very observant. I'm not sure I would have noticed this stuff, but since you mentioned it, it's the worst interview ever. So annoying. I mean, look, I came here on this stream today to watch this interview because I'm using it all the time. Like I literally used Chat GPT today to create a script for a video. I use it all the time. I would love to hear the man who created it, or the CEO of the company that creates this. I'd love to hear him talk about what are the differences between GPT-4 and GPT-5. That would be great. That's what this title of this video tells me is going to happen. Instead, we get this epic waffle from this incoherent interviewer. She seems to be just jumping tangents from fucking the future to the past. Instead of actually asking him about the thing that he's releasing, she's tiptoed everywhere around it that she possibly could. And it looks like he's jack of it, and he's been jack of it for like half of the interview. He laid back and he's like, he's off mic. They had to ramp the gain up and maximize the noise gate. It's all the wrong things, right? And she's got 6 million subs. It's just infuriating. This is an infuriating interview and a horrible user experience for the channel. Cleo Abram. I never want to watch anything else she does because of this interview. It's horrible.
Most concerned about the creation that you've built? And then my next question will be its opposite. When have you felt most proud?
I mean, there have been these moments of awe where we just, not like what have we done in a bad way, but like this thing is remarkable. Like, I remember the first time we talked to like GPT-4. It was like, wow, this is really like, this is an amazing accomplishment of this group of people that have been like pouring their life force into this for so long. On a what have we done moment, I was talking to a researcher.
You know what? The key indicator here was that light reflection in that image on the wall there. We should have seen that. That gave it away. We should have been like, you know what? If these if these hacks can't see that there's a fucking massive light reflection right in the center of screen, then what is this interview going to give us? A similar experience, right? There's a big glaring reflection, which they could have mitigated with a slight camera change, change it slightly. They could have fixed that. They didn't. We should be wary, or we should have been accepting of what's to come from that, is what I'm saying.
Recently, you know, there will probably come a time where our systems are, I don't want to say sane, let's say emitting more words per day than all people do. And, you know, already like our people are sending billions of messages a day to Chat GPT and getting responses that they rely on for work or their life or whatever. And, you know, like one researcher can make some small tweak to how Chat GPT talks to you or talks to everybody. And that's just an enormous amount of power for like one individual making a small tweak to the model personality.
Yeah.
Like no person in history has been able to have billions of conversations a day. Yeah. And so, you know, somebody could do something. But
the
this
noise
is like,
gate is awful.
Just thinking about that really hit me of like, this is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology to have. And like, and this happened to us so fast.
Yeah.
That we gotta like think about what it means to make a personality change to the model at this kind of scale. And yeah, that was like a moment that hit me.
What was your next set of thoughts? I'm so curious how you think about this.
And then what happened? What happened next? I woke up and it was all a dream. Like this interview. Man, I tell you, this shouldn't be happening, but this is making me not want to use ChatGPT at all. And I'm not... It's no shade at Sam Altman. I don't know what he's like in interviews, but this is turning me off the product. This is not, I'm not going to change my approach because I'm going to use it, but this interview is making me like, fucking hell, this shit's horrible. I don't want to be any part of it. I don't want to be anywhere near this. Horrible.
Well, just because of like who
I'm going for another
person
slash.
was, like we very much flipped into like what are the sort of like, it could have been a very different conversation with somebody else, but in this case, it was like, what do a good set of procedures look like? How do we think about how we want to test something? How do we think about how we want to communicate it? But with somebody else, it could have gone in a like very philosophical direction. It could have gone in like what kind of research do we like want to do to go understand what these changes are going to make? Do we want to do it differently for different people? So that it went that way, but mostly just because of who I was talking to.
To combine what you're saying now with your last answer, one of the things that I have heard about GPT-5, and I'm still playing with it, is that it is supposed to be less effusively, less of a yes man. Two questions. What do you think are the implications of that? It sounds like you are answering that a little bit, but also how do you actually guide it to be less like that?
Here's a heartbreaking thing. I think it is great that ChatGPT is less of a
wait.
more critical.
She just mentioned the product. What are we? 56 minutes into an hour and 5, and she did mention the product by name. She mentioned Chat GPT-5. I heard it from the bathroom.
With it is that it is supposed to.
And she's asking that it's less of a yes man.
To combine what you're saying now with your last answer, one of the things that I have heard about GPT-5, and I'm still
wait. One of the things you've heard, or one of the things that you've encountered by using it? You would have used it by now, surely. If you're going to interview the CEO of the product, you would have been using it, right?
Last answer. One of the things that I have heard about GPT-5, and I'm still playing with it, is that it is supposed to be less effusively, less of a yes man. Two questions. What do you think are the implications of that? It sounds like you are answering that a little bit, but also how do you actually guide it to be less like that?
Here's a heartbreaking thing. I think it is great that ChatGPT is less of a yes man and gives you more critical feedback. But as we've been making those changes and talking to users about it, it's so sad to hear users say like, please, can I have it back? I've never had anyone in my life be supportive of me. I never had a parent telling me I was doing a good job. Like, I can get why this was bad for other people's mental health, but this was great for my mental health. Like, I didn't realize how much I needed this. It encouraged me to do this. It encouraged me to make this change in my life. Like, it's not all bad for ChatGPT to, it turns out, like, be encouraging of you. Now, the way we were doing it was bad, but turning it, like, something in that direction might have some value in it. How we do it, we show the model examples of how we'd like it to respond in different cases, and from that it learns the sort of the overall personality.
Wait, is he? I've heard snippets of this. Is he talking about people? I'm going to jump off for a second, but people were saying that there's been a negative response to GPT-5 because they built a relationship with GPT-4 and it was placating responses. Like, it would give you a favorable response, even though, like, maybe, I don't know, like, I can't think of a scenario, but maybe the situation might have been a bit dire, but it would, like, paint it into a better light. Whereas he's saying that now they've taken that out and they're going to just deliver the information matter-of-factly. I'd rather it that way. I'd rather it be like Spock, right, with no emotion, and it's like, well, if we did that, then this would happen and that would not be good for everything. That's what I'd rather. Like, if you're going to get directions to the nearest gas station, right, you want to get there as quick as possible. You don't want to have to go around the town square and then come back and then do a dogleg and blah, blah, blah. No, I'll go straight. I'll take the quickest route. I'll get there as soon as, because I'm going to run out of fuel, right? Is that what he's talking about? Because I have heard snippets of that. There is a change and people are upset that they've spent all this time building up a relationship and now that relationship's over. Right, Hendrik, many people are complaining that GPT-4 was taken away. It was so friendly, people used it as a companion. This is what I'm talking about, right? Some cases it was here to help their mental health. I've heard this. Charlie, this is her intro on Facebook. Emmy-nominated video journalist, so she didn't win. Whenever something says Emmy or Academy Award nominee, they didn't win. They were nominated, they didn't win. Why bring that up? I came third in the relay in the dogleg race in year 7. No, didn't win. Don't bring it up. Emmy-nominated video journalist explaining complex ideas simply. Really? Simply. I'd say dodging all the subject matters is more accurate. Flesky, I'm the type that wants the harsh truth from AI. If it tells me it's wrong, like my coding approach, yeah, I want it. That's what you don't want to faff around. Like, why would you want to have like a personal relationship with this? All you want is the facts. You're not, what are you going to have is the next stage of like having a personal relationship with your AI, is it going to cry tears and there's going to be water coming out of your laptop? Is that what you want next? You want like the physical? If you want that, go and meet the actual person. If you want to use hardware to generate, or hardware and software to generate a response, you've got to understand it's not real, right? You're getting the thing from the tech. You're not getting, you want it to have emotions. You want it to hug you. You want it to be warm when you go to bed together. It's rubbish. The same. It needs to be logical. Right on, Charles. Just logical. That's all you need. Logic.
What
That's why it's called a logic board.
Asked you that you're thinking.
Oh shit! Hold on. No way. Is this what's going to happen? She's going to ask him, "What haven't I asked?" Lay this down. I reckon he's going to say. I reckon his answer is going to be all the things about the product. Let's see.
Sort of the overall personality.
What haven't I asked you that you're thinking about a lot that you want people to know?
Perfect. I've got a new
I think we
product.
covered a lot of ground.
Me too. But I want to know if there's anything on your mind.
Wow.
I don't think so.
That's where it should end. How much more does it go? She waffles on for another 5 minutes. How come that doesn't end just there? He accepted that that's the end of the interview. I've answered everything. He looked at the stars. I don't think so. This is gold. That should be the thumbnail of this whole interview. He's the Chat GPT. He can't be rude and he's a yes man. This is the greatest thing on the internet of how lame it is.
I want to know if there's anything on your mind.
This is too
We
good.
covered a lot of ground.
Me too.
This is
But
too good. This is too good.
what haven't I asked you that you're thinking about a lot that you
What he should say right there is, well, we've just released GPT-5. Maybe we could talk about the specifics of how it differs from GPT-4. I mean, heaven forbid, that would be good for the business.
Overall personality.
what haven't I asked you that you're thinking about a lot that you want people to know?
I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Me too. But I want to know if there's anything on your mind.
I love that look to the skies. It's a shame because I held him in a bit higher regard. I thought right now he could have just hit the key points and gone, this is why GPT-5 is better. This is why, if you haven't used Chat GPT, this is why you should, because we've got this now. We didn't have that in 4. Now you've all got access to 5. They call this the elevator pitch, right? This is the time when you go bang, 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 and you really ramp up the user base. Hey, Giona B, how you doing, man? Yeah, this is the chance. And it's a shame that he's dumbed himself down to not answer this. Maybe she hypnotized him in a sense. He wanted to talk about the product, but he lost his mind in the process.
I don't think so.
Wow.
One of the things that
She goes, that's okay, because I want to talk to you about the future. If one of you guys ever has children and one of them, when he's 8 years old, accidentally sets fire to the living room rug, go easy on him, okay? That's what she wants to do.
gotten to play with yet, but I'm curious about is
Wait.
GPT-5.
No, this is even better. She just acknowledged that she hasn't played with the product yet.
The things
She's about to say, well, okay, so you got nothing, but neither have I, because I haven't actually used it yet. I'm here to interview you, billionaire CEO, but I haven't actually used your product. But I've heard people say, watch this.
I don't think so.
one of the things that I haven't gotten to play with yet, but I'm curious about is GPT-5 being much more in my life.
Yeah.
Meaning like
Oh, it's in my life, man. The GPT-5 is in my life. This is too good. This is too good. When I was young, it seemed my life was so wonderful. Right.
my Gmail and my
Yeah.
calendar and my I've been using GPT-4 mostly as a isolated relationship with it.
Yeah.
How would I expect my relationship to change with GPT-5?
There you go. This is what you needed to ask him an hour ago. This is a great question. So what she's getting at is that people, myself included, we use ChatGPT sporadically to answer almost like Google searching, right? We use it to a bit more on steroids than that, but we use it to get to a point. But she's saying she's heard, probably because she read the press release, that there is a more of an integration of GPT-5 into our daily lives. This is the kind of question she should have led with. She's buried the lead all the way down to 57 minutes, man. This is damn, dude. I can teach you how to interview.
I've been using GPT-4 mostly as a isolated relationship with it.
Yeah.
How would I expect my relationship to change with GPT-5?
Good question.
Exactly what you said. I think it'll just start to feel integrated in all of these ways. You'll connect it to your calendar and your Gmail, and it'll say like, hey, I noticed this thing. Do you want me to do this thing for you? Over time, it'll start to feel way more proactive.
Look at him. Look at his demeanor right now. He's sparked up. He's like, oh yeah, this is the product. I can talk about that. He's changed. He's moved into the mic. He's come back up onto mic. He's actually engaged in the conversation because she's asked him an actual question about the product. 57 minutes in, he's look at him. He's sitting right up. He's like, yep, I got this one.
Isolated relationship with it.
Yeah.
How would I expect my
He's psyched.
relationship to change with GPT-5?
Exactly what you said. I think it'll just start to feel integrated in all of these ways. You'll connect it to your calendar and your Gmail, and it'll say like, hey, I noticed this thing. Do you want me to do this thing for you? Over time, it'll start to feel way more proactive. So maybe you wake up in the morning and it says, hey, this happened overnight. I noticed this change on your calendar. I was thinking more about this question you asked me. I have this other idea. And then, eventually we'll make some consumer devices and it'll sit here during this interview and, maybe it'll leave us alone during it, but after it'll say, that was great, but next time you should have asked Sam this or when.
Yes. I was hoping you'd say that. That was great, but next time you should have asked Sam this and this and this and this, and maybe you should have scrapped all those questions and just gone with what we gave you. That's too good.
Eventually we'll make some consumer devices and it'll sit here during this interview and, you know, maybe it'll leave us alone during it, but after it'll say, that was great, but next time you should have asked Sam this, or when you brought this up, like, you know, he kind of didn't give you a good answer. So like, you should really drill him on that. And it'll just feel like it kind of becomes more like this entity that is this companion with you throughout your day.
We've talked about kids and college graduates and parents and all kinds of different people. If
We've talked about everything except for the product, basically. Charles, I was born in the 60s. I was taught we would be in flying cars and the Jetsons. Yeah, we were promised jetpacks. Flowski, your reaction stream should be required training for her next interview. Like I said, I don't know who she is. I don't know what she's done before. If this is the caliber of her interviews, it's baffling, right? Like this is well and truly off the mark. This is a horrible interview. This is an example of what you should not do in an interview. Technically, given the microphone placements and the setup and the light reflections, and also from a script point of view, like you've got this guy, he obviously allocated 60 minutes to you. You've got this time. He's got a new product. It's literally changing the world. And you've done everything you possibly can not to talk about the benefits of that product. You've gone as far into the future and back into the past, except that you've missed the point that we live in 2025 and this thing is happening right now. So why don't you want to know about that? Like, why do we need to keep going? She kept saying it. I got this time machine. I want to go forward. No. Don't go forward. Just do now. Like, we live in this year and this is current. So do the current thing. At the end of it, you can speculate about what might come in the future. But right now, this is happening. So take it and grab it and ask the questions that's going to give the CEO guy a chance to spill out all the info about the greatest thing about this new product. That's what we're here for. It's weird, man. She's just blown it like in an epic way.
Imagine a wide set of people listening to this. They've come to the end of this conversation. They are hopefully feeling like they maybe see visions of moments in the future a little bit better.
That's it. She said it right there. She just summed it up. You watch the interview, you get to the end of it, maybe you see glimpses of what might be in the future. I don't want to see that. I want to learn about the fucking present. I want to learn about GPT-5, which has happened right now. She's so far out of the fucking ball game. It's crazy.
If we imagine a wide set of people listening to this, they've come to the end of this conversation. They are hopefully feeling like they maybe see visions of moments in the future a little bit better. What advice would you give them about how to prepare?
The number one piece of tactical advice is just use the tools.
Why are we preparing for the future? Well, let's just use the thing that we've got now. He's got this new product. It's happening. Let's just talk about it. Oh, this is too bad.
The number one piece of tactical advice is just use the tools. Like the number of people that I have, the most common.
So he's like, yeah, just don't worry about all that. Just use what we've got. Just use GPT-5. Use it.
Question I get asked about AI is like, how should I help my kids prepare for the world? What should I tell my kids to study? The second most question is like, how do I invest in this AI world? But stick with that first one. I am surprised how many people ask that and have never tried using Chat GPT for anything other than like a better version of a Google search. And so the number one piece of advice that I give is just try to like get fluent with the capability of the tools. Figure out how to like use this in your life.
You know what would have been great during this interview if you could have walked us through that concept of how do we get better with using it? Like that's what he's here. He's here to tell us about that product. Why didn't you ask those questions, lady? Why didn't you say like, how do we best use GPT-5? Instead, you're off with the fucking fairies in the year 2035. And then we go back into the dark ages before this and that. Like, let's just use the thing. This is so frustrating.
With it. And I think that's probably the most important piece of tactical advice. You know, go like meditate, learn how to be resilient and deal with a lot of change. There's all that good stuff too. But just using the tools really helps.
Okay, I have one more question that I wasn't planning to ask, but I just...
Great.
In doing all of this research beforehand, I spoke to a lot of different kinds of folks. I spoke to all
these people, but I didn't actually use the product. I told you that earlier. I haven't actually used it, but I've from doing all this research, I've learned that. So you didn't actually use it? No, I didn't.
A lot of people that were.
That's like an interview, another band interview, right? So, I hear you've dropped a new album last week. I haven't actually listened to it, but I hear it's a return to your earlier form. Oh, so you didn't listen to it? No. But I hear on the internet that people are saying it sounds like you're going back to your earlier inspirations. So you didn't listen to the album? No. What can you tell me about that? What the fuck? If you didn't use the product, how do you have any grounds to interview the person? It's so strange.
Building tools and using them. I spoke to a lot of people that were actually in labs and trying to build what we have defined as superintelligence. And it did seem like there were these two camps forming. There's a group of people who are using the tools, like you in this conversation, and building tools for others, saying this is going to be a really useful future that we're all moving toward. Your life is going to be full of choice. And we've talked about my potential kids and their futures. And then there's another camp of people that are building these tools that are saying it's going to kill us all. And I'm curious how that cultural disconnect has, like, what am I missing?
Use the hole,
about
bridge
those
the hole,
two-
or fill the hole.
Use the whole, yeah, you just use the tech, exactly. Hendrik, is that a reference to the upcoming 50 drop? 55? 50? I got no album coming. I got ideas. I'm listening. She's got 5 more minutes of this waffle. Let's hear how she wraps this up.
Groups of people.
It's so hard for me to like wrap my head around. Like, you are totally right. There are people who say this is going to kill us all, and yet they still are working 100 hours a week to build it.
Yes.
And I can't really put myself in the headspace of if that's what I really truly believed. I don't think I'd be trying to build it.
One would think.
You know, maybe I would be like on a farm trying to like live out my last days. Maybe I would be trying to like advocate for it to be stopped. Maybe I would be trying to like work more on safety, but I don't think I'd be trying to build it. So I find myself just having a hard time empathizing with that mindset. I assume it's true. I assume it's in good faith. I assume there's just like, there's some psychological issue there I don't understand about how they make it all make sense, but it's very strange to me. Do you have an opinion?
You know, because I
No,
always
don't
do this.
ask
I
her.
ask for sort of a general future, and then I try to press on specifics. And when you
Did she just do that? Did she say I want to learn about a general future? Why is it always about the future?
An opinion?
You know, because I always do this. I ask for sort of a general future, and then I try
The whole interview, she's been infatuated with the future. It's so strange. Like, she's got this guy here. He's the CEO of OpenAI. They've just dropped Chat GPT-5, and all she wants to do is talk about the concept of AI and what it might look like in the future. It's so strange. Who approved these questions? Like, did she just write them and go, that's the shit I'm going to ask this guy? She needs to run this by AI at a minimum, right? Like, run it through Chat GPT-4. She doesn't use 5. At least run it through a simple AI model and say, are these good questions to ask the CEO of an AI? Like, this is the head honcho. Like, are these the questions? You're at the pearly gates and you've got a direct line to God. Are you going to ask him the good questions, or are you going to just dance around the subject? She's just dancing around it. It's crazy.
press on specifics. And when you ask people for specifics on how it's going to kill us all, I mean, I don't think we need to get into this on an optimistic show, but you hear the same kinds of refrains. You think about, you know, something trying to accomplish a task and then over accomplishing that task. You hear about sort of I've heard you talk about a sort of general over reliance of sort of an understanding that the president is going to be a AI, and maybe that is an over reliance that we, you know, would need to think about. And you know, you play out these different scenarios, but then you ask someone why they're working on it, or you ask someone how they think this will play out. And maybe I haven't spoken to enough people yet. Maybe I don't fully understand this cultural conversation that's happening. Or maybe it really is someone who just says,
oh, for fuck's sake, get to the question, girl. Seriously.
99% of the time, I think it's going to be incredibly good. 1% of the time, I think it might be a disaster.
Yeah, that I
I'm
can
trying
understand.
to make the best world
That
possible.
I can totally. If you're like,
Is there a
99%
question in there? Is she asking a question or is she just ranting? What was she even doing then? What was that bit? That didn't go anywhere. Musk's full self-driving and his robots will kill us all. Dugsy, maybe she should be a news weather presenter predicting the future.
Chance, incredible 1% chance the world gets wiped out, and I really want to work to maximize, to move that 99 to 99.5. That I can totally understand.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That didn't make any sense.
I've been
to
doing
me.
an interview series with some of the most important people influencing the future.
I can't imagine what those interviews go like. No disrespect, but this one's turned me off your channel entirely.
Not knowing who the next person is going to be, but knowing that they will be building something totally fascinating in the future that we've just described. Is there a question that you'd advise me to ask the next person?
she not only did she in this interview say to him, I feel like I didn't ask you all the questions I should have asked you. What would be a question I should ask you? Not only that, but then she's, well, I'm going to interview other people like you. Just for my own satisfaction, what question do you think I should ask them? So you've got nothing of your own, right? You're not even sure about how you should open an interview. You want me to give you you want AI to give you a dot point bullet list of the things you should ask. That is too good. That is too good. I can't believe she just did that. She did it earlier and asked him about the questions she didn't ask him. Now she's asking him to tell her what the questions she should ask the next person she interviews. This is so good. She must be well respected as she's an Emmy-nominated reporter. Yeah.
99.5. That I can
I love
totally
this.
understand.
Most important people influencing the future. Not knowing who the next person is going to be, but knowing that they will be building something totally fascinating in the future that we've just described. Is there a question that you'd advise me to ask the next person, not knowing who it is?
Not knowing who I'm going to interview next and having no clue of what I'm going to ask them because I don't research their products. What do you think I should ask them? That's so fucking good. Look at his face. He's just like, really? She's now getting me to prep her next interview. Is that what's happening right now? He's looking at the PR people going, come on, man, wrap this shit up. Let me out of this nightmare. Get me off this stage. I'm done. I've made it very clear I'm not interested. Now she's asking me to give her the questions that she should ask the next interview. This is too good. This is too good.
Just described. Is there a question that you'd advise me to ask the next person, not knowing who it is?
Please.
I'm always interested in the, like, without knowing anything about the person, I'm always interested in the, like, of all of the things you could spend your time and energy on. Why did you pick this one? How did you get started? Like,
Okay.
what did you see about this before everybody else? Like, most people doing something interesting sort of saw it earlier before it was consensus.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get here and why this?
How would you answer that question?
Oh, it's classic bait and switch. She's just gone, okay, tell me what the question will be. And by the way, no, I'm going to ask you to answer that. This is lousy journalism, total lousiness. I was really hoping he would have just gone, maybe ask them about their product the thing that they're there to talk about, maybe ask about that. That would be a good starting point. Now she's just switched it around and said, now you answer.
It was consensus.
It's like, no, you, I love you. No, you love me. No, I love you. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. That's what's going on here in a less romantic sense.
Before everybody else. Like, most people doing something interesting sort of saw it earlier before it was consensus.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get here and why this?
How would you answer that question?
That's so unfair. That's so unfair to ask to do that in an interview. You that's almost like breaking a ground rule. Like you can't use the subject to plot out the next interview and then jump into that interview immediately with that subject. That's not fair. Like that's what if he had have answered something in some horrendous manner and then she's gone, you need to answer it as well. That's not fair at all. Like this is a sly question.
How would you answer that question?
I was an AI nerd my whole life. I came to college to study AI. I worked in the AI lab. I watched sci-fi shows growing up, and I always thought it would be really cool if someday somebody built it. I thought it would be like the most important thing ever. I never thought I was going to be one to actually work on it. And I feel like unbelievably lucky and happy and privileged that I get to do this.
Hendrik, you should do a follow-up stream and just ask ChatGPT these questions, right? GPT-5. Yeah. Interesting.
I feel like I've like come a long way from.
Look at how far off Mike he is.
That I get.
Look at that. He's gotten even further back. The production team's like, they're in the back behind camera going, get closer to the mic, move closer. You're so far away from our mic right now. Like, we're going to have to ramp the absolute shit out of this gain. Noise gate's going to be total. Actually, to be fair to interview girl, she's been sitting up the whole time. She knows. He doesn't. She could have told him. She could have said, hey, you got to be closer to mic. No amount of AI is going to give us better audio from this unless you get up on that mic. His chair is slowly sinking, Dugsky. This has been good for a number of reasons, but not for the reasons I hoped it would have been.
This, I feel like I've like come a long way from my childhood. But there was never a question in my mind that this would not be the most exciting, interesting thing. I just didn't think it was going to be possible. And when I went to college, it really seemed like we were very far from it. And then in 2012, the AlexNet paper came out, done, in partnership with my co-founder Ilya. And for the first time, it seemed to me like there was an approach that might work. And then I kept watching for the next couple of years as scaled up, got better. And I remember having this thing of like, why is the world not paying attention to this? Mm-hmm. It seems like obvious to me that this might work. Still a low chance, but it might work. And if it does work, it's just the most important thing. So like, this is what I want to do. And then like, unbelievably, it started to work.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Look how quick he's out. He's off. He's done. I'm like, I'm out. That was horrible. That was an absolute horrible interview. Cleo Abram. Let's sort by newest comments. Is there anyone that's gonna... Is there anyone going to call her out? Or am I the only one that thinks that was horrible? This person says ChatGPT would have answered these questions in a much better way. She's an amazing interviewer. Fresh start 2 hours ago. An amazing interviewer. Can you list me the questions that were mind-blowingly amazing? Dugsky, it's been a fun afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, man. Cheers, dude. Had to give up 20 minutes in. Too much vocal fry. What did he actually say? Yeah, there was a lot of waffle in there, wasn't there? Nobody calls her out. Like, nobody calls her out. Like, I want to call her out. I want to say that was a textbook scenario of how not to interview someone. Someone has a product, a CEO of a company has a product and they've just dropped it. That's an hour worth of how not to ask them about that product. How to do everything you possibly can not to hit the core points, and to have that person be able to explain the new product and say why you should start. If you don't already use it, you should. And if you're using, well, you don't have to upgrade it. It gets rolled out. You had a chance to give the public a taste, or not a taste. You had the opportunity to open up the CEO to be able to explain to everybody in layman's terms about why their new version of their product is so rad, and you did everything you possibly could to walk around that subject. It's infuriating. It's a very difficult watch. I hated watching that. It was. I mean, we had tech issues throughout the middle of it, but aside from that, that was so difficult for me to consume. I never want to see another one of Alex. What's her name? Alex Perrin. Cleo Abram. I never want to see another Cleo Abram interview ever again. That was awful. But I will say thank you to the chat for being here on my stream, enjoying my reaction to that dribble. Look towards my YouTube channel in a couple of days when my video goes up, which includes Chat GPT-5's script for a drink review. I've done a lot of reviews in the Great Aussie Outdoors of drinks, and they've bombed on YouTube. So I asked GPT-5, what would you recommend I should do to make a more compelling video? And I literally followed it bit for bit, including shot for shot, script for script. I did that, and I've got that. I'm going to edit it together. A couple of days' time, that'll be on my channel. That's GPT-5. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here in the chat. Thank you to Tasmania and Sophia for some lovely homemade olives, homegrown olives, and they were absolutely fantastic. I love them. I will see you guys all tomorrow, I guess. We're going to stream tomorrow. Yeah. We'll stream. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Get out of here.